Monday, March 16th, we're at the Moretown Selectboard meeting here. It's our first organizational meeting for the new board. So we'll start with calling the meeting to order, which we just have. We'll start with our organizational, which will take us probably 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, and then we will get into public comment, and then we have the Friends of the Mad River, and then we'll go ahead with the rest of our meeting there. So, as we go for the meeting here, gentlemen, we first start with electing chair. So, there are some nominations.
I nominate Tom Martin as chair of the select board.
Is there a second? Or actually, Don, yeah, you have to ask for that, please. Can you take over?
Oh, do we have any seconds for nomination of Tom Martin for the chair of Moretown Selectboard?
I will second.
All in favor? Sorry, all in favor? All right. Any discussion?
Aye.
Then
All
the ayes have it. Tom,
Good start.
Tom will be.
Yeah, after a good smooth. Well, thank you both, thank you everyone. But let's go ahead and move to nominate a vice chair. Don, you go ahead and do that.
I'd like to nominate Callie Streeter for being our vice chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Mike seconds that. Any further discussion? Any other nominations? Seeing none, all in favor of Callie for the vice chair? Vote aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. So we got that. Our next thing we need to go ahead and look at, Sasha, do you have the other
It's on the back of that sheet.
back of this one? All right. We are going to decide again where we meet first in third Monday of each month. Is there any discussion on that? At 6? Gentlemen?
6 o'clock here at John
Yep.
Hogaboom.
At the John Hogaboom meeting room, that is correct. Is there a second for that? I'll move that.
Second.
Kelly seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, vote aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. That's good there. And now we need to go ahead. If you guys want to pull up, Callie printed this off. Select board appointments for 2026. And if you want to take a look, for the sake of time, I don't think I'll go down through these, so instead of voting on each one, let's go ahead and if there's things we want to change, we can go ahead. But first, we have fence viewers. We have Jonathan Siegel and Ray Washburn. Agent to convey real estate, Sheila Getzenzinger. Town Hall rental coordinator. So that's something that we need.
It's been Corey.
The library. Yep. The librarian, Corey just didn't have a name there, so I just want to make sure. Tree warden, Mike, you're still going to do that for us, right?
Yep.
Stefan for fire warden. The inspector of lumber, shingles, wood, and coal. We have Charlie Aber Sr. Health officer, Richard Bellatinetti. Deputy health officer, so that is vacant. So
That was vacant last year.
it sure is, or has been. So if anyone knows of anyone that's, Chris, maybe that might be something right up your alley. Absolutely, that's perfect. We're just going to put your name here. We're not going to vote on anything tonight, but just so I don't forget, so we can talk about that. It's not a big lift, but every once in a while there are, a few things that come up where, we need the expertise of someone in the medical field, or Dick has been with the health in the state, but but your expertise might serve us well in that. You know, again, it may, nothing that you do in years, but something to think about. And newspaper of record. So we have the Times, Argus, the Valley Reporter, and Front Porch Forum. We did, just for note, we did get a letter from the Valley Reporter requesting to be the newspaper of record. So that was nice, but I guess we'll continue with the Valley Reporter, but the Times, Argus, and the Front Porch Forum as well. Mad River Resource Solid Waste Alliance, Jonathan Siegel, Doug Reed is an alternate. Mad River Valley Rec District Board Rep, our own Sam Rosenberg, right here. All right, thank you, Sam.
I think that's Mike DeBonis. The board.
Oh, yes, yep.
Yeah. Sorry, Sam.
No, it's okay.
Take it
Oh, it's the recreation one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Animal Control and Pound Keeper, Stefan Pratt. Zoning Administrator, Carol Chamberlain. E911 Coordinator, Carol, as well as the website Administrator, Carol Chamberlain. Energy Coordinator, Dara. Energy Management and Civil Defense Manager, Stefan. All right, so here, the Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission. This is where we have a big void now. Both Dave Stapleton and Joyce, you may have seen their letters, moving out of town. Huge thank you to them. Thank you, Sasha, for sending that out. They've been, great in the roles that they've played with us or for us. Really knew what they were doing and handled it well. So at Central Vermont Regional Planning, we need to be on the lookout for a couple of people there.
How do you think we go about that? Putting something in Front Porch Forum that we're looking for someone?
Yeah, I think we should.
I think that's on the agenda.
Yeah, we had one. There's one.
No, that's for the school board.
No. But that's CBRPC. That's a little different.
Oh, that's
Okay.
different, yeah.
Yeah, that's the rep for the CBRPC, which Dave was doing that, but we have someone for that. So if anyone's interested in the Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission appointment, please let us know. But we will put that in out. Sasha, maybe we could think about putting that in our 3 letters of, or our 3 newspapers and record, please. Our state police, Central Vermont State Police Advisory Board, we have Tom and Jeanette and Clarence Wood. Ridge to Rivers, Mad River Watershed Committee rep is Dara. Again, I know there's Dara coming tonight. I think she might be here at some point.
You skipped the TAC rep because Dave was the alternate.
Yes, the TAC rep. There we go. TAC rep,
Yeah,
John Lynch.
he's the rep.
Right, and then we had Dave as an alternate, and that's where I think we have someone to appoint later on.
Okay.
Deb Sargent, I think, isn't that what,
No, CBRPC, I think she wanted.
okay. All right, I guess I already said that. Financial Review Committee, we have Jason Aronowitz, Lisa Hazard, Mike DeBonis, Sherilyn Brown. The Central Vermont State, I think I said that. The Ridge to Rivers, we got Dara, I guess I said that. Economic Development, Don and I. CB Fiber, Chuck Burt, Karen Horn, and Sam. Agent to Prosecutor Defense Suits is vacant at this point. The Morefest Committee, that is no longer. CBRPC Clean Water Advisory Board, that was Joyce, and that's I think what we have for Deb later on. In the Moretown Local Service Committee is Sherilyn, Michelle Beard, Murray Martin, and Sasha.
And we should add one more on here because who knows how long, it's the Facilities Committee or Building Maintenance Committee, which is me right said that he would help.
That's a good pickup there on that.
Yeah.
Someone actually knows about construction.
Yeah.
Not only picking, you guys do a good job.
Tom, what was that you said about the Morfest committee not being?
It's under the.
It's under the,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah.
Is the rec committee on that list, or should it be?
Not really. I mean, it should be,
Oh,
I guess, right? Should we have a rec committee on
because
it?
it's appointed, not.
Yeah, no, it's, I don't know why it's not on this list, to be honest with you. I think it's always been on here.
I don't think so, but
All right, well, we have, Chris continues to run that. You did a good job, thank you, Chris. Chris, is there a second in your committee?
there's not a co-chair.
Yeah. All right, Don, or anyone else? We should go. Sasha, how about yourself? All right. So anyone want to make a motion on this?
Well, we'll have some to fill still.
Right, exactly.
Make a motion to approve the select board appointments for 2026.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Callie, any discussion on these at all? Don, anything that you want to bring up? Just that we, yeah, as soon as, I think Sasha can put something in our record, her papers of record for all these, and just get the word out that we're looking and see what we come up with. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All right. So now we'll go ahead and get on into the meeting, a regular meeting.
No, what about the stuff on the front?
Sorry. Authorized signatures.
All right. Authorized warrant signers up to 2 when a quorum is not available. I think both you two we've had,
Yeah,
that seems to work, does that work well?
yeah, it works really well when Mike dropping his kids off to school.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gotta be here, and Don, you're going through town, so,
Yeah.
so both Don and Mike. All right, yeah, so we have the liaisons for the road crew. I think there's been 2 or 3 of us.
It's in you and I.
Don and me, thanks. With Mike spending some time there. The fire department has been,
All of us.
it's really, I think that would be a good one to throw Sam into.
Fire department?
Fire department, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. How about Sam and Don? How about you help him with Don? Because you're over there with that all the
Yeah,
time.
I'll be working on the building for sure.
Historical Society.
I can be that since I've actually joined that group.
Thanks, no. The Library Town Hall.
I think that's been me in the past.
The Rec Committee.
I can do that.
I think
Since I was part of it for a little while, the plan. Does that work for you, Chris?
Which is like, just don't make it Tom, just don't make it him. Town Clerk and Treasurer. Certainly I work with them a lot. Does anyone else? I mean, I think anyone. I mean, it's really, these are kind of a little silly, but animal control. You know what, Sam? Well, while you're working with Stefan.
Fire and animals.
Yeah, fire, animals, and Stefan. So I don't know how you put that together, but zoning DRB. Mike and I both. Morwood, the Moretown HUUSU reps.
I can do that.
I was gonna say
That makes
Sam,
sense, yeah.
You can do that right over dinner, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can make those family gatherings a little bit interesting. Tax collector.
So that means we like just work with Craig or whatever you mean?
Yeah, just, Yeah, in case there's any issues or problems.
You could put me there, because I know Craig and I go back a ways.
You could probably get along with him. Stormwater Management, MRGP.
I can do that.
Mike, yeah, that's probably up your alley.
I think I'm supposed to be in charge of. Yeah, I'm supposed to be in charge of pumping the ponds.
Yep. And Moretown Local Service Committee. I can go ahead and do that. I think that,
Charlie's been raising.
oh,
her hand.
damn, I forgot about Callie.
I saw her put her hand up a couple of times. Oh,
People, Jesus, someone tell me.
she didn't really, but I was just volunteering.
All right, let's go back over this here.
Hey, Tom, you had the DRB and zoning administrator, did you need to include the planning commission as well in that?
Yeah, that is actually a planning commission. I did not.
It's on there.
It is on there.
Okay.
So, Callie, what committees or liaisons were you last year?
I think the fire department, the school board. I think that was it.
Well, definitely, I think the fire department, again, I mean, you spend a lot of time there and you know a lot about it. And Sean is on the fire department, so, you know, the three of you, but, and then the board, you and Sam. And then how about the local service committee?
Yeah, I think that was somewhere in there too at some point.
Yeah, so we'll do that. Yes,
And I don't mind helping out with tax collection either.
all right. Actually, with your experience over there in Berlin, I think that's a good fit. Thank you, Callie. Again, sorry, I was just.
No problem.
Well, the only one we didn't do is Morfest.
Well, no, because, that's with the rec committee now, so it's, so
We
we
don't
really
have to
don't,
have a liaison.
yeah, so that's, I think.
We're all
Chris,
part of it.
we're all
part of it.
Yeah, all right, so, now, we move, from the warrant signers all the way down through the liaisons. I'd move to accept those appointments.
Second.
Thank you, Callie. Any further discussion? Nothing. All right, all in favor, vote aye.
Right?
That's not the fun part of the meeting, I'm sorry. All right, so now we move forward, I think. So we have public comments. Let's go ahead and start with that. Is anyone here for just public comments?
Hi, Louisa Wilson.
Yeah.
I have one for myself and one for Chris and I together.
All right.
For me, I just wanted to know if there were the official election results posted anywhere. I wasn't able to find them on the website.
Yes.
Sure.
They're here. Oh, are they published on the website?
Yep. No, they're not, sorry. Carol wasn't here,
Okay.
so she's the one who goes them.
Will she be, when will she be around?
It's special, she in tomorrow.
I don't know.
It might not be until Thursday, so if you need a copy of it.
I just was curious. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I don't know if they were official, but there was, I think in last week's Valley Reporter, there was all the results from all the towns. I don't, yeah, but.
Sure. So we get the 3 reasons, yeah.
And then for Chris and I, in terms of the rec committee / Morefest work, we're presenting the date of Saturday, September 19th.
Sounds good. How did you choose that, just out of curiosity?
Time for sure we can. Yeah, again.
But it was
Again.
last year, yeah.
It's my anniversary. That's why.
Yeah, Natessa, Louisa, and I largely are running the subcommittee of the Morefest event and open for more people to join. We put it in FPF. And we just circled it around. We got Labor Day weekend is, I think, Monday the 7th. And then one more weekend, I think, to let everyone settle back in. And then that follow-up weekend would be the first full week of school and then Morefest.
Good. I think that's good.
Just kind of basic logic. And then we'll work with a fireworks vendor and the band to get those locked in on the 19th. And then figure out the start time and events.
All right, well, let's get start getting a date.
Yeah, so we just want to make sure that that was known. It's in the rec committee minutes that we were looking at the 12th and the 19th, and we're going to start with 19th.
Let me just write that down. Any other public comments? Chris?
I have a couple. One, on behalf of the rec committee, just for awareness, we are, well, it's really the Friends of the Moretown Community Library are applying for grants to make the story walk an accessible story walk. And you know, it should be known that we've already received $5,000 in funding from the rec district. We're hoping to use, if we need to, the $1,000 grant matching funds in our rec committee budget. But honestly, there's quite a few grants that we're gonna, Sybil and Carla Lewis and I are working on that. So I'm pretty optimistic that the money's out there, and Mike DeBonis is also helping us, right? That we'll get some good grant funding for it. The goal would be to figure that out ASAP, so we can try and get the work done this year. We already have a builder quote, and you know, I'm keeping that warm with them in terms of the start time. It's about 2 to 3 weeks that he'll need start to finish.
So what will that look like when it's done?
I mean, so it'll look very much the same in terms of the route that it'll take.
Yeah, or the path, is it like a 4-foot?
And then the path, yeah. So Sue Workin and I went up Ward Hill Road. There's the Pratt Land is up there. It's a bird sanctuary, essentially managed by the Vermont Land Trust. And they just launched last fall their accessible bird watching trail. And we went to the clinic. There's a bunch of people there to inform us. So like visually, go hike that. I think on May 9th, they have a bird walking event up there. All right, something like so Vermont Land Trust is going to host an event up there. So it'll look a lot like that. And basically what they do is it's sort of like a 4-foot wide or 3 or 4 foot wide stay mat trail, you know, is what you'll see, but underneath they'll kind of get rid of the underlayer and the materials, put down a sub layer like building a road, some landscape fabric, and then softer layers, and ultimately try and take all the ambiguity out of it, like eliminate any steep pitches, any wet side slopes, eliminate side slopes altogether, and try and get turn radiuses to be more accommodating for a larger number of people. So it's just, and then we can write a trail description that says it's actually easy because the pitch is this and the side slope is this and the length is that. Yeah. So that's sort of the bigger vision, and none of the story walks in the valley are accessible. They're actually the Warren and Payson are both in the town forest, and maybe the Waitsfield one. I haven't done the Waitsfield one.
Okay,
That's great.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, so that was the vision. I just want to let you guys know that because hopefully we get a big funding response, and then we're going to want to move as quick as we can reasonably.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Chris or Louisa? All right. Any other?
I have one other thing with the cell phone tower.
Yes.
And I've been working with the environmental enforcement officer for this area, who's also the chief for the state. And basically it's a solid waste violation is how they classify it. And he connected with T-Mobile, who we're also applying for a story block grant from.
I thought that was funny. I did see.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I thought it
Or ironic, maybe is the word I should use.
Left hand, right hand's doing.
to talk about the top of the tower, and he got the feedback that would be expected. They don't own the tower, they're just trying to add more to it, another 19 feet of the pine needles. So he did get in touch with the tower owner, and they were fairly well aware of these issues in general. I guess there's only 4 companies around the world that make fake Douglas firs and palm trees, and after 18 months the needles all degrade. And so they go through a quarterly cleanup process, but they really only do that for the landowner because of liability. They don't do it with the abutters. There's probably enough detail. I'm going to write some things up and try and get more support, because basically A&R can only pursue the solid waste cleanup for the existing tower with that leased landowner is my understanding, but I think the ask here would be to sort of reconsider manually taking all the pine needles down before they scatter across the land, and not adding 19 feet more of it. And I don't really know the right path. I think it has to go through the Public Utility Commission because they've already approved the permit, so. I just had a lot of free time, I thought I'd work on this one next, yeah. So I think I'd be looking for a letter of support. I'll just try and write it together. It's really the same content we already have written in January, just to a new audience is my guess.
Okay. Well, let us know when you get it. And I know you're working with Mike, I think,
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah, I'm happy to help you with that.
Thanks.
All right. Anything else? Public comments? All right, so let's go ahead and move ahead with, we have the Friends of the Mad River. Why don't you roll on up? I know there's a presentation here somewhere. I'm gonna go ahead and look for it.
First of all, you go like that.
Sasha, you had this, right, or no?
No, not either. Kind of like the one. No, tell me one of beer cans over.
I can re-forward it if you need.
Yeah, two most common. Yeah, of course, it did seem weird that they approved it based on the fact that it wasn't the applicant's issue.
Yeah,
It seemed like there was like a disconnect there.
it's for the public good.
Right. Yeah.
I think it has to go back to the planning commission. I have a lot of
Oh,
ideas.
that's just the handout.
Yeah.
There was, the first email had the slide deck. I ended up sending them in 2 parts.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a second one right after it.
Say, like Harwood,
That would have been the
Community
second
service
email.
Or, yeah, the first one, so maybe,
The K through 6 kids could maybe.
was it oops, the other attachment,
Yeah,
or
get it in
was?
newspaper.
No, it had been an email right
Yeah.
before that one,
Yeah.
but I'm happy to resend it if that's gonna make it
Take
easier.
plastic bags and throw it away
Right.
every time.
So that was.
Yeah.
The only one who's gonna do a good job are little kids. that
Can you
actually-
send it again?
Yeah, she's sending it right now.
Yeah,
So at the top.
Or robots, but they're not ready.
yeah.
Yeah, you want me to send it again?
Please.
Yeah. To Tom or Sasha?
Sasha.
We have copies of the handout, but that is not the presentation.
Okay, shit, what second one?
I'll forward it to you, yeah.
Do you have service here? Do you have service?
It says it went.
I didn't know they were gonna put it on the
My email is slow sometimes. Oh, there it is.
Yay, all right, technology's working.
This is right here, yeah.
You gonna start kick us off?
Sure.
Great.
I'll be very brief. Thank you. I know, right? It's these guys. We'll talk to these guys. You're the audience. That's the peanut gallery.
And then the one here, none of this is for the federal department, right?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, we need that. Yeah. Because that's how all that information, like pay raises, cost of living. Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And if you wanna put it in presentation mode, and I'm gonna throw another monkey wrench at you there's some animation, and I'll just kind of let you know.
All right, do you want to?
Sure, yeah, that works great. I think I'm relatively germ-free.
Oh, that's good. I'm in the hospital all day long. I got germs all over me, so nothing bothers me.
Why are you in the hospital all day long?
Outside, the consultant group that works with us.
Okay, great. That works.
It does.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So Iris is gonna kick us
Guys,
off.
Sorry.
attention everyone, we're getting back to the presentation here. We have Ira from
Friends of the Mad River.
Friends of the Mad River.
Yeah. Thank you guys all for having us. My part of this is super brief, which is really just to, reintroduce Friends of the Mad River. Myself, I'm Ira Shaddis. I'm the director of the organization. Julie Frost is our project coordinator who joined us in June. We've been working together for the last couple months to advance a number of different projects around the valley, and also to bring together this roadshow to sort of reintroduce ourselves to select boards and commissions and stuff, and sort of our local partners in the watershed. And so Julie is really going to be the face of managing a lot of our projects and sort of in-the-ground stuff moving forward. So we thought it made sense for her to deliver the presentation. So have at it.
Thanks, Ira. Thank you all so much for having us here. I actually did live in Moretown for almost 2 years up at Living Tree, so I feel this is kind of nostalgic for me. So I'm happy to be back in this corner of the watershed. And I am going to use my notes because otherwise I will go rogue and I will take up way too much of your time.
That's all right.
If you want to give me a high sign at like 10 minutes or something, if we're going long, just let me know. Great.
Got some time.
So I'm going to start with saying this. Our communities are where they are because of the river. And this year we're recognizing the 15th anniversary of Tropical Storm Irene. And since then, we've seen more unprecedented floods, development and habitat changes, and of course all of this is with the escalating impacts of climate change. So we at Friends are asking the question, how do we live well with the river? And what do we need from the river? And also, what does the river need from us so that we can all thrive, right? I'm going to take you through this brief slide deck as a reintroduction. It's kind of a journey of what we've done, what we're up to now, and in the end, we'll try to wrap it up with talking about how we collaborate moving forward. And as Ira said, this is really just about, specifically in my role as project coordinator, how I can just really closely collaborate with the towns and your priorities, and we can all get on the same page and hopefully implement some really great projects. So the down arrow didn't do it.
Oh, it's space.
Space? No? Next guess?
Yeah, is it?
You can escape out and,
Yeah, just
actually, what about this, right?
right there, where you go.
There we go, okay. All right.
This is real life. It's really happening.
Yeah.
So the agenda is really basic. We're going to talk about our core values, core focus, capacity, community engagement, and collaboration. And we're here today because we want to partner with the town boards and commissions to engage more directly with our work, from project planning and prioritization to attending the many events that we plan, and also thinking about us attending other events and ways that we can learn from other communities. So we actually have just hit our 35th year as an organization, and we are doubling down on the values that we call learn, conserve, and celebrate at the watershed scale. And we approach our mission by using a diversity of ways to engage with and serve the community, and we'll talk a lot about that diversity tonight. We know that our values are shared with our town officials and boards, and we're just really inviting you to take action with us, as you'll see that we're really ramping up this year. So hopefully these things are recognizable to you. Some things that we've been up to over the last decade. So I think this was mentioned in your administrative session of Ridge River. So after Tropical Storm Irene, our previous executive director, Corey Miller, pulled together a lot of people and organizations across the valley. This is a 2-year strategic planning process in like 2015, 2016. It is still a living action framework that guides landowners and stewardship. And we've worked with many towns on projects like culvert replacements for aquatic habitat and flood resilience, stormwater mitigations like road gullies and rain gardens, and definitely a lot of tree plantings up and down the rivers and streams. We also have a cohort of 20 plus volunteers that monitor sites, 23 sites up and down the MAD. And this is critical scientific data that we're in charge of gathering and working with other organizations. It's very important because of the warming waters due to climate change and also development pressures. And there's some evidence out there that this is one of the very oldest all-volunteer water quality monitoring programs in the country. So it's a really amazing program that we continue to run. Our board and our staff worked with a consultant in 2024 to build a strategic roadmap for the organization. We were really asking the big questions. What should we be doing? And then what does staffing and partnership need to look like to make that happen? So our growing board, we've grown by a couple of people just this year alone. Clark Amadon is one of those people. He could not be here tonight, but our growing board, me in this role, talking to you about collaborations and more big projects are the exact examples of putting this strategic framework into place. And it's really important to us because this framework orients us to thinking about having a community that is ecologically and environmentally resilient and knowledgeable and engaged in a changing climate. All right, so I'm going to quickly highlight these program areas and large projects. We'll get a little bit more into some of these in just a minute, but the program areas, again, as I mentioned, and we'll continue to mention, we have a diversity of ways that we're engaging with community. And so pretty much everything that we do falls into one of these 5 buckets. The landowner engagement is what we think of as working directly with private landowners, such as Don Wexler here. And that might be consultation or workshops. It may be helping with implementing small projects on their land. And then watershed restoration is what we think of as with the larger projects, where we're really more engaging with either larger organizations or entities or the towns to implement larger projects. So then I just want to touch on our suite of larger projects that are ongoing right now that will carry us through some of 2027. These are grant funded to somewhere between $300,000 and $400,000 for those 4. And across these 4 projects, in partnerships with the towns, we aim to move forward several culvert replacement projects on municipal roads, which if we get the time, I'd love to talk to a little bit more about some of the scoping we've done here in Moretown. Identify top priority projects from a suite of previous scoping efforts. That's our project development work. Develop a robust geospatial database, which is really exciting, a way to sort of project manage all of this and track it as a pipeline. And we are actually launching a native plant nursery right here in the valley as well, which is really super exciting. So yeah, our capacity has mushroomed about 200% in the last couple of years. Our first decade, we were all volunteer. We didn't have a hired executive director until 2014 with Corey Miller. And so now you see Ira stepped into the role in 2022. We hired Luke Foley. I'm sure a lot of people recognize that name, who's just really done amazing work with our events and community engagement. 3 AmeriCorps members over the last couple of years. I came on last year, and then we just in the last couple of weeks onboarded our native plant nursery coordinator. So this is a lot of growth in just a couple of years, but again, this is by design from our strategic framework, so that we can collaborate with the community, collaborate with the towns, and really just implement more projects and create a flood and climate resilient community. So I'll talk about the ways that we have significantly increased our presence with community engagement. We had 24 events in 2025. So think about it, that's 2 a month. We're a very small organization. And we're just really getting a lot of traction with folks coming to these events, and we'd love to see more of our town officials at these events as well. So these may look familiar to you. We hold events such as an expert series that's hands-on place-based experiential learning opportunities for the public, also a climate and ecology book club. This was one with Helen Wybrow at the Big Pick. It was very well attended. We are in every school in the watershed, serving 600 students this year, working with 19 teachers, and that includes service learning opportunities for the kids, especially at the high school level.
Including right over there.
Yeah, including right over there. Thank you, Aaron. We also partner with rec organizations. In the bottom panel there, you see an event series that's really taken off. It's called Climate for Climate, and that's been really great. And River Fire, which is a New Year's Day cold plunge. About, I don't know, 36 hardy souls came out for that this year. And this is really just important to celebrate where we live and build community and just enjoy all that this landscape has to offer. And really just thinking about the diversity of all these things that we offer builds the coalition. It empowers people. It educates and also celebrates. Okay, so this is our chance to take a little paddle together, and I want to share with you how we see navigating our work with our partners up till this point and then moving forward. So this includes our watershed towns, it includes the conservation commissions, if that's appropriate, regional organizations like CVRPC, and of course the state DEC. It includes various project types like roads and gullies, replacing culverts, planting riparian buffers, potentially restoring wetlands, improving our stormwater infrastructure. And I do have some things to leave with you all that sort of talks about those project types and gives some examples of ones that we've done recently. So it started with our strategic framework that I talked about, and then building capacity, which is me coming on board. So far, we've already been assessing many sources of potential projects, and so that's like going back to the river corridor plans, the stormwater master plans, the LHMPs, all kinds of various efforts that are out there that we know that there are projects that were identified that potentially haven't moved forward, and we need to get new information about so that we can revisit them and prioritize further. And then that brings us to these road shows to build these relationships and explain to you all that we have this capacity and the efforts that we're taking on. And in the background, we're continuing to identify projects and develop them from those scoping efforts and understand what are the benefits, what's changed in the landscape with recent issues and events like the floods, and also starting to look at what are the funding opportunities so we know which of those might actually be able to move forward. But that means, that means that we're at this key point of prioritizing with the towns. We're not going to do this in a vacuum. We know you have priorities, you have information that we don't have. We need to get together and share all that. And then hopefully that means it's a partnership to implement and just be transparent, efficient, go after the right ones at the right time. And in the end, we'll have successful projects for a resilient watershed. And that's it. So that's the end of my pitch. And really, we just want to make sure that we're inviting you to collaborate with us, that we understand who and how we can continue the dialogue, who's the best point of contact, and to make sure that you know to get in touch with me at any point moving forward. Yeah.
Awesome. That was very good.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys have truly come a long way in the last 10 years.
Pretty exciting.
A lot of things going on. It'd be interesting to see the scoping efforts that you've done that haven't gone through in this area, to see where we could collaborate on some of the things because we have done recently a lot of mitigation work after the floods. We spent millions of dollars on mitigation, but there's still a lot of opportunity where I say opportunities, but places that need work or mitigation.
Yeah.
So,
I think this is the perfect example, right? We have these lists that were developed, some for, like, let's take culverts, for example. Some of the lists were developed specifically with aquatic organism passage in mind. Others were developed with flood resilience in mind. All of them are out of date, right? And so it makes a lot of sense for us to just lay these lists down next to each other and say, what culverts did get blown out in the last, storms, what was replaced, et cetera. And I think we could go across the sort of landscape of, storm and flood mitigation and resilience projects and say, what is outstanding? And certainly, ideally for us, like what is also a match for sort of these ecological co-benefits, right? Because that's, I think, a place where we can really leverage additional funds that might not normally come into the purview of the towns.
Yeah. So that's what I've been trying to get my arms around, is all of those previous scoping sources. And then just want to be able to work with everybody else. There's like the top 5 in the Stormwater Master Plan from 2019? 1819. But there was 20 plus identified, and maybe some of those have shuffled around a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a real opportunity to look at some of those. The River Corridor Plan, the lower River Corridor Plan is much more recent.
Yeah. But even that is prior to the floods. It's also
Yeah.
2018, so,
like, I think starting here, like the low-hanging fruit might be the culvert inventory. That's something we do on a regular basis.
For sure.
We need it for our grants and such, so that's fairly up to date.
Yeah.
So that might be an opportunity to sit down and say, all right, let's see whether or not we're deficient there.
That would be fantastic. I think you're reading my mind, because that's actually one of the top on our list.
I am reading your mind, I
Yeah.
do that.
We're like this.
Chris, I don't like what I hear from yours.
Yeah, actually, we have been out doing some field assessments of some culverts. Now, we're focused on culverts for aquatic organism passage, so these are stream crossing culverts that are ones that do not allow for fish passage. So we have actually did have an opportunity in the fall to go out and look at, I think in Moretown there were probably half a dozen, and at least, and we looked at a few that looked really, really interesting that we'd like to talk more about moving forward to get some preliminary designs. But we were out with an expert from Fish and Wildlife and got his take on some of these, and have a whole team of people that will look at that information with us and with you all to prioritize which ones might be the most attractive to move forward.
Good.
Yeah.
John, I'm reading your mind now, you have something to say.
So, town mitigation, the hazard mitigation plan, we just did a complete inventory. I worked with Ray Washburn, who is
Great.
helping assist in the town along with Martin. So we have that done. It's now at DEM.
And that's culvert specific?
Well, it lists all the culverts that were damaged or
Okay.
ones that we think need to be improved on.
Okay.
So it's not a complete culvert inventory, but it has all the ones that we prioritized, or what Martin and Ray prioritized. So
Okay.
that's something I can provide to them, Tom, if you want me to do that.
I did see the hazard mitigation plan, but it was stamped draft at the end of last year.
Yes, did you see the one that was 2026 or 2025?
It was like November 2025, and it still had a draft.
That's,
watermark.
right now we're awaiting DEM to look at it.
Okay.
I don't expect them to have any much changes to that.
Okay.
So that should be pretty good.
Great, awesome.
Clark?
Yeah, Julie and Ira may have mentioned this earlier, but I'm new on the board, Friends of the Mad River. Glad to do that, especially as a Moretown resident, but I think one of the growth parts in Moretown that could lead to more natural collaboration in the future is if we can get a conservation commission up and running. And we've made halting steps in that direction, and nothing that's really firmed up at this point. And Ira and Julie, I'm sure you've met with planning commissions at other towns as well, and the collaboration with Friends and the rest of the Valley towns through conservation commissions is a natural link, and that has happened fairly frequently, and hopefully over time that can be a point of contact for the Friends here at Moretown as well, which I think would be advantageous, especially as you talk about culvert issues, the Black River passage issues in other places. I think that's really important. And we don't have as much of the same upland kind of tributaries and habitat as the rest of the valley, but we certainly have. I mean, Doctor's Brook is a great example of that, Stevens Brook. So hopefully more collaboration can ensue over the next few years.
So Clark, is that something that you would assist in, or continue to assist in helping put together?
Well, concert, I've talked with a number of people in town, and it hasn't, I don't want to be involved with the committee. I don't
Right.
mind being a catalyst in that sort, but looking, we have some people that are fairly interested in, and at this, we're trying to find the right fit and not overburden already busy volunteers, so.
Yeah, we did have, before town meeting and everything, there was an email
Yeah.
from the Valley Conservation Alliance that reached out to us that wanted to
Start.
talk to us and
Yeah.
get something going, so I don't know if that would be something. I don't know if do you know about that as well?
It's all involving,
I know,
sort of
so,
conversation,
I mean,
yeah.
It's in our radar to
Yeah.
talk about. I mean, we just, it was just before town meeting and it's supposed to, now
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll do it at this meeting, but we do have an email about, I can't remember exactly how it.
Yeah, but maybe, I think maybe our next meeting, we can probably get into that and then maybe get a little more information, Clark.
Well, and Donnie, I mean, I don't know, after the big project at your place a couple of years ago, whether there were other, folks along with 100B or anything that talked with you about, any other, like, oh, hey, how did you do the project? How did
Yeah, I
that
know
go?
people have, yeah, for sure.
That's definitely something that we want to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are certainly other parcels identified that are very attractive for riparian buffer plantings. I think that was identified in the River Corridor Plan. And so we could really showcase what was done at the Wexlers and make people aware of the fact that that's something that we can drive forward. Yeah.
And then another area that maybe going forward we could look at is just, how we can, with our sand pit, how it can be a better neighbor to the river. How we can make improvements there, other than our dream of moving it, but
Is salt stored at the sand pit?
there's salt, we're supposed,
We just got a grant for a new salt shed, right, Sherilyn?
It makes a big difference.
We applied for a grant for new salt shed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't
But,
we receive $500,000 on that?
We adjusted the grant to $500,000 by the recommendation of the state.
Yeah.
But we have yet to find out, but I'm assuming it's coming soon.
Got some, plantings there or something,
Yeah.
It's some salt tolerant species.
Grass.
Yeah. I mean, I will just say on that point, the salt shed is literally like the best bang for your buck, the most you're gonna do in terms of improving water quality from the runoff that comes in. And like across the state, these salt storage sites, there is legacy salt in the soil. And so it's sort of like in an ideal situation, you move it as far away from the river as possible. In lieu of that kind of solution, it's like keeping it covered so it's not just directly washing off in rain situations. And that's sort of the best, easiest thing to do.
Yeah, this was, it was quite a grant that we,
It's $512,000.
and the building is very, very small, so it's being built, engineered for that environment there, so.
That's interesting.
It's a complex.
These grants really, they add up.
Oh my God, I was amazed when I saw, what are we building here? How big is this?
Right. Can I live there?
Right, exactly. So, all right, anything else now?
I just have a quick question, just curiosity, because some friends in the Mad River, parts of Moretown are not in the Mad River Valley watershed. Just out of curiosity, can people that are in like a different watershed, access your guys' like Donnie did a riparian buffer planting? Is that just restricted to the Mad River watershed, just out of curiosity, or?
Well, the Friends of the Winooski.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. We have a very close collaboration
Okay,
with
so
our
like
sister
people
organization,
over there,
Friends of the Winooski. And and that's evolving, and I would say probably getting even closer, a relationship with them. So the way that it's worked, at least since I've been part of Friends in the last year, is if somebody reaches out to us that's not technically part of the MAD watershed, we just work with them and bring in the people at Friends of the Winooski.
Yep, gotcha.
And we will continue to do that, and that is a very symbiotic relationship.
Yeah,
Great.
it's an easy handoff.
I mean, we're a sub-watershed.
Oh, yeah, no, it makes sense, yeah, I just,
Yeah.
yeah.
The only
curiosity.
thing I would say is like outside of the realm of like sort of project handoff, like you look at Bridge to River, for example, when we get into that more sort of planning space or, like cross-town collaboration, we always just include Moretown as a whole unit. I mean, and it's been the same with Duxbury as well. It makes sense because your priorities are not strictly in the watershed, but if we want to have you guys be good partners, if we want to be good partners to you, we need to be able to take into account where your priorities really lie. So when it comes to that sort of planning kind of work, we tend to look at the whole town. Yeah.
Which is good.
So I'd love to know who are the best contacts to start working on culverts. We could start with that. And,
Right.
Yeah, probably Ray Washburn.
okay.
He's our consultant. He's out of town right now, I think, but
Yeah, but he's still working.
yeah.
Okay.
So that would probably be the best.
Okay,
You get us contact from Sasha.
Yeah.
great.
Thank
Thanks.
Julie, and I can help get you guys together with Ray as well.
Thanks, Clark.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Clark, just so you know, he's using a different email for this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that I find out what it is.
Yeah.
I know we've taken up a lot of time. I really appreciate
It's all
it. It's
good.
been a super healthy conversation, and we'll keep it moving forward.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Ira.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Ira, don't forget your call.
All right, so let's see how we get this done. How are things at the State House, Dara?
Pretty good. Yeah, do you guys have any questions or?
Anyone have any questions for Dara while she's right here, our state rep?
It's like 181's delayed, right?
Yeah.
What's
The
that?
implementation of 181 is delayed.
Yeah, some timelines are gonna get pushed back because it's pretty complicated stuff, the
Yeah.
mapping.
And 325 was taken off the table, right?
S 329?
Yeah.
No, that's the vehicle for pushing the timelines out.
800-foot driveways. I was just told today that that was taken off the table.
Well, the road rule, I think, got delayed or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, same thing.
Well, 181 is also being delayed because there's some pushback now about it too as well.
Yeah, there's concerns about difficulty for small town, rural landowners being able to have, accessory dwelling units or sell to
Build
a
a
family
road.
member and build another house. I mean, so that has to get worked out. But the road rule, I realize, also has some real resilience behind it because we don't really want long private roads for washout reasons. So there's a lot in there. It's not all just preventing development. It's trying to develop for today's world. And also with, understanding conservation, the most valuable conservation areas, and those are the areas where you would want a higher level of development assistance to, that's where Act 250 could bring in a lot of expertise if you're considering building somewhere fragile. So, getting it right, Bill, on the map, it's ambitious, and I know our planning commission has been in there with our regional planning, which is great work. So yeah, that will keep moving, that's gonna come over to the house now. That work. So.
Good. All right. Well, thank you, Dara.
All
Sorry
right,
to put you on the
great to
spot
see you.
there.
What's next on your agenda?
We are talking about town meeting, and we have nonprofit discussions from town meeting that we're working on.
I might stick around for that.
But also one of the S66. It's in the transportation committee, just kind of in the legislature.
And what, is that the noise?
The noise one, yeah.
Okay, that's coming out?
No, I don't know. From what I heard, it's just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, you know, our
Candace,
Candace is definitely our.
I know, I'm gonna get in touch.
To that bill. I know, I talked to her recently, to kind of nudge the chair on that one.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
okay.
interest in that.
Just gotta embrace the Jake break, Tommy. Just gotta change your attitude about it.
How about Melissa?
Dara, have you gotten like direct feedback from Moretown, like individual Moretown residents regarding the road rule?
You know, it's more, not individuals, I'm
Okay.
just hearing overall, there's uneasiness about like, because when the original map showed so much of Moretown was, you know, habitat connector
Right,
and
right.
tier 3. But the other thing I try to remind people of is that the land use review board is new and they're trying to build and make activity work better for us, which could mean cost less. So it's like trying not to fear it and see it more as a resource it can be to do good development.
So our next discussion is the town meeting recap nonprofit. So if you're all here for that, why don't we all just come up and sit around the table? That's you two, Sherilyn, Steve, Chris, John.
Do you feel cold?
Sorry, you might as well pull up too. You don't want to be selected.
Well, I'm thinking, I want to make sure she's able to see her.
Is that, yeah, you having a little problem here? I know you brought your kit.
I just always wear it in the winter, sorry.
No, that's good. I think it's.
It's good. I feel safer.
I feel safer too.
I feel safe.
I'm
Ready to take care of us.
If we need a groomer, you can get one here.
Or if I'm having a stroke, no, that doesn't work.
So, all right, so let's, I mean, the town meeting, I think it went well. I mean, I think there's always things we can improve upon, but some of the exercise that you got with the microphone.
It's fun.
I volunteered to help John next year.
I was gonna say, next year, I think we just need another microphone, have one on each side
Yeah,
with that.
yeah.
But I had a couple people reach out and thank us or you guys, or whoever, for that, because they could finally hear it this year, or hear everyone.
Can Callie see us?
Yeah, Callie can, yeah, that's all right, she's good.
Hear us in the room or online? Do we have feedback on the online experience?
Did not hear, we had one person online.
One person
Yeah,
online.
I think it's probably pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm sure it is,
Yeah, it's
because,
probably bad.
yeah, it just is. I mean,
Yeah.
how are you gonna pick up everything with the equipment that we have?
That would help, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, so it may have improved, actually, we can reach out.
Yeah.
That was Bob Blodgett that was on. You should someone should reach out to him.
I'll see him at planning commission, so I can ask him about that.
Yeah, ask him if he could hear and hear everyone else's comments and
Okay.
how that went, but,
Okay.
but so what everyone else think?
Well, so the town meeting group, as we
Yeah,
called ourselves, we had a meeting after town meeting.
yeah.
So here's a quick list of, I'll just read through a list of thoughts that we would have to bring, today we can talk about and going forward, so. Moving the voting to the location of the town meeting, which would be working with the Board of Civil Authority and changing the location. Before the annual report is printed, the SB reviews and maybe selects a volunteer to also read it and then maybe read it aloud so that we can pick up on any mistakes. Extra copies of the town report at town meeting, because there were people there who didn't have a report and were looking like they, seeing if there was one. Pre-town and have your say day, could that be combined? That's a statute we'd have to be thinking about, something to look into for the future, a charter change. This, reading you bullets right now. Status of the incorrect articles and what action can or cannot be taken. Meet with Susan Clark, who's the woman in Middlesex who's written a book about town meeting, to review my town meeting items and budget discussions. Sound system, next steps, research buying equipment and a split with the Moretown School, because as you know, we rented this year. At town meeting, the select board representative speaks to a state of the town address, i.e. more precipitation from the select board, because we didn't starts getting long and then none of us really talk about some issues that we could inform the town about. Just for a little positive thing, there are 18 children in childcare, so that's a good number, more than last year. Then, just a side note that the Mad River Glen employee gathering was on town meeting day. So coordinate with the other valley towns to speak to the Mad River Glen management, because, you know, there were several people, i.e. Steve had a conflict there, you know. And so those were some of our quick reviews from the meeting.
If you do
And I can
talk,
send that to everybody.
Donnie,
We just did
if you do talk to the management, do not use my name.
it. No,
Yeah, Steve said,
no, I won't.
Steve
but-
McGill wanted us
Well,
to.
now it's on.
Well, it is town meeting day, right?
So one of the things,
I would think you wouldn't.
I think this is all good stuff. Some of it, you know, longer. I think that the pre-town and the have your say day, which I love to have this have your say day, but I think the pre-town is, you know, kind of passe at this point, because we can talk about everything at town meeting.
Is it necessary?
There is a statute in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you have to have it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and the other challenging is that the polls close at 7, and then we have our town meeting at 4. So there's really, that's a smaller window for people to get information. So I think you need to have the pre-town, even though I do understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would it be possible to combine pre-town meeting with the have your say day? I don't know. You know?
I think there's the dates, that's the problem, right? I think it has to be, the pre-town meeting has to be within 2 weeks of the meeting, is that what it is?
I believe so, 14 days.
14,
And
2
I think it
weeks.
has to be, you gotta have your warning finalized.
Right, that was the point
Right.
of the,
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
days, people could
That they could still.
discuss, but then there wasn't a lot of participation, and nothing changed. Yeah.
And you guys had a pretty good turnout for having your say day.
Yeah, we had about 30 people.
That's good.
5 people online, yeah.
I think it was more for that than there was for pre-town meetings.
Sounds like it.
Absolutely.
And it was a different crowd, you know, there was a lot more variety, you know, we had some young, whereas pre-town meeting, it was, you know, fairly elderly crowd with the same thing. Clark, you're stirred.
I sat next to Clark, so.
Now, Duxbury does theirs before the select board has finished the budget, so people can have input for the select board on the proposed budget before.
That's not,
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, it could have changed at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But he's wanting to
That's
see
the
if could we
quote.
consolidate them, and I don't know if you can. I think it'd be challenging to do that
Yeah,
with the statute.
but just so when people come to pre-town meeting, it's like a done deal, you know, and, you know, there's not much that they can really, we're just telling them that, okay, here's what we're gonna talk about. And then then we have town meeting, and it's the same thing, just about.
So I think, and it really would be on, this would be on us, but, so I think the have your say day went well, we had good participation, but when it was the first, so there wasn't a lot of banter back and forth, let's change this, and let's do that, but we need to probably get our information out, you know, a little bit earlier.
Right.
And, because I think, you know, it was right after Christmas, we were finishing it up, and it was kind of running around. And it's a big crunch without us getting,
Well,
yeah, it
also,
just is.
I mean,
Compressing the
you
time
some
that you have
challenges with
already,
that.
which you're always up against.
It's
it.
always
Yeah.
late in January though, before we get it done.
Right, and then you're trying to make it earlier.
Right, but I think, you know, again, maybe I cracked the whip on myself, but we could probably work harder on the budget earlier to just get it done.
You have a new member, you can do the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, Steve, this is how it's done, but you've got to do this part. Yeah, I think we could make a commitment to that, because we do, I mean, when you look at our budget, we're fairly level-funded most of the time. There's not a lot of change. But, you know, it has to be gone through, and you have to certainly evaluate each time. But, maybe we start, a little bit earlier in September, or just stick to our schedule as we're gonna work on it 2 hours tonight.
There is absolutely no reason why we couldn't have the budget done by the end of November. The challenging part is getting the departments to get us their budgets in. That's always the biggest challenge. Sasha always sends it out
departments
in August, and sometimes even in July she'll send it out. And we don't hear back from anybody until October.
And
So
everybody
that's
knows
the-
this comes every year.
That's really the biggest challenge, and there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't have the budgets done by the end of November.
So again, I think that's,
We could reach out to those groups
yeah, I
and
think
say,
we
we're
can-
trying to change to this Have You Say Day.
Say we'll zero out your budget if you don't get it just by the end.
No, I think she brings up a very valid point, though, just bringing some awareness and seeing if we can try to get it together a little earlier.
yeah, no, I think with the right communication, we can probably, because we asked them for it, and we do a very good job asking, but because it's kind of been this way for years, where we let it slide and then we do it, and, but if we, give them a reason why we want to do it, and I think everyone, Chris, you're always good about getting your budget anyway, so.
No.
Or no, he's not, okay.
No, he's not.
No, we had ours
Like the
in
last
September.
ones.
We presented on October 6th this year, actually. I think knowing that the date is, getting reminders, there was years where we didn't get reminders, and the awareness was like, but that's gotten tighter, and then once you get it on a pattern, it's easy to follow it. No one wants to work on it over Christmas.
Right.
Anyway, so. I
Right,
think
so maybe we also just suggest a day, right, so like.
Or set a date.
What?
Or just set a date.
That's what I mean, like we would like it back by date X.
For Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and I know that people that have, the reason why is that we're
It's by-
trying to tie it into this Have You Say Day,
But they're just not getting it.
so that we can have a rough draft of the budget done and have that available for people to look at, because even though when we had Have You Say Day, we had just about finished it, so not very many people got to look at it before the meeting.
The other thing too that used to be done, the select board would have a special, one, maybe two special meetings a month just for the budget. Because you guys, your agendas are so crammed to get this person in there, this person in there, this person in. If we have just a meeting for just the budget and nothing else, we can get a lot done.
I see that piece of paper.
So one thing Sasha just mentioned is that there currently is a deadline for the end of September.
The notes, so.
Oh, under these go.
Make
So
notes.
what was that?
Sasha was saying that there is currently a deadline, I guess, for these departments to get their finances or their budget in by the end of September, but apparently they aren't getting them in.
Right.
So maybe just like, trying to be a little more strict about it, I guess if possible, and say, so that we can get this information out.
Yeah, no, it is, and then people, in their defense, they're doing a good job with the
Yeah.
volunteers, so that's that
Sure.
fine line
Yeah, I
where
understand.
you don't wanna push someone up,
Right,
or they
right.
just said, this is not worth it for
So
you.
Chairman, so it's not only like, it's like getting the committees to respond.
Right.
Is that the biggest? Okay. All right.
No,
That,
no,
oh.
it's not. No. There's people that are on payroll too.
It's everybody, it's all departments.
All
Not
departments,
just
just not committees.
When you
just
say that, it's not
committees,
just
yeah.
committees, it's all.
Oh,
departments.
no, I was just wondering if the committees tended to lag further behind than, than the, like the.
Then select board.
No, it's a combination,
Okay.
yeah.
So I want to add on what Sherilyn said. I think having the budget meetings is great because you have to warn them, and if people are really interested in the budget, they'll come to those. So that's another more opportunity for people to have a say.
Yeah, listen to how we're talking about the
Yeah.
budget, so.
It used to only, I think, Clark, I think you were even on the board at that point, and I know Don was.
Bring it up on.
There used to be one, and then if another meeting was needed, then you do it. Do you remember that, having special meetings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I first started, we would
And
have
nothing else,
full meetings.
just don't have
Yeah.
anything else, we've
It
done it,
was like in
no public
September.
comment, this is what we're gonna do.
We've done it a few times.
Yeah.
But these guys really are balls to the wall sometimes, and it's just a lot for a
Yeah, it is
volunteer
a
It
board.
is a lot,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
for
it is a
sure.
lot.
All right, well,
Take a
we'll
risk.
work on that and getting it early. I think we could probably
Yeah, there you go.
put something together.
So like the nonprofit stuff is related to the budget too, because people are, reacting to that as an expense. And it seems like the usual cast of characters is there every year, and are they also last minute requests too?
Not all.
Okay.
No, so let's back that up. Are you talking the request to be on,
Like the individual nonprofit requests,
to receive their money or to
Yeah.
be in?
No, just to be on the, be warned for the meeting.
No, so the select board back, I'm gonna say 4 or 5 years, it was during COVID, made the new rule that you do not need to hand in a petition. If you are already on the warning, you do not need to hand in a petition unless you are going to change your request amount.
Thanks.
So that all these nonprofits are always on it, no matter what. They know the rules, they know the procedures, and it didn't happen. So, I don't know what to say, so they're always on it, on the
Okay,
warning.
thanks. Good reminder.
Did you have something else you wanted to add there? It sounded like you guys had a question.
Well, so are we still talking about,
Just town meeting right now.
okay, yeah, no, we're talking about nonprofits
Yeah.
like after?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless we're done, is there anything else on town meeting that?
Well, I guess, some of the, is there any way, or is this later, some of the articles that ended up being missed or incorrect, what do we do about what's the status of those?
What do you mean incorrect?
Well, like Article 4 was, like, as far as looking at last year's and this year's, it reads, and it got brought up at the end of the meeting, but we couldn't do anything about it, but.
Article 4, there isn't an Article 4.
Yes, there is. Shall the town orders vote to change the delinquent tax penalty? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, and it says 4%, and then carry on and read the rest of it. I don't have it.
Taxpayer levy, all right, shall the voters of the town of Moretown vote to change the delinquent tax penalty levied to a graduated commission schedule pursuant to 32 VSA, section 1674-3, to 4% for the first 30 days following the tax due date and 4% thereafter.
So if you look at the year before, it's 8%.
A full 8%.
Yeah, that's how.
Did it get changed, it got changed on the floor?
I
No.
don't think it did. I think
It
we
did
talked
not.
about changing it. I don't know if Steve remembers, and then I think people decided not to change it.
2
If I
years
remember.
ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
If I remember
it's this
correctly.
exact same reading, except at the end, 4%.
I mean, go ahead.
No, 4% for the first 30 days following the tax due date and 8% thereafter. So does that now mean this year,
We need to know if it was changed for sure, but.
I don't think I don't think it's legal to be changing it now after we voted.
No, you can't.
Can't change it.
Yeah, we'll just have to, for next year, right?
So.
so
the
what
way
does
it
that
was
essentially mean? That if Craig's collecting taxes and someone's delinquent, then they're only it's gonna just be 4% for the whole time?
No,
Just for the first month.
no. It's 4% and it was the same as it was last year. It was 4% for the first one. So if you paid on November 2nd, it was 4%. December 1st, if you didn't pay, then you got the additional 4%. And that was voted on a few years ago on the floor. It got changed from, instead of getting hit with 8% right off the bat,
I think you actually brought that up. That was
the voters wanted to give the taxpayers a break. So they changed it to 4% November 2nd. And if you still didn't pay by November 30th, then December 1st, you got the additional 4%.
So it's just like a harsh lesson to learn. If
So-
you miss a day by 1 day, you get
Yes.
8%
I've done it
hit. So
twice.
like
Right.
the other towns in the valley, we said, all right, 4%
Yeah.
reminder, 8%
Exactly.
kicks in after
Right.
30 days.
So we started that after,
COVID.
well, initially we started that before COVID. It was probably 2018. There was 1 year when we had a lot of people that were late, and then they paid like the next day, and they were like, oh, and I have to pay 8% on top of it.
Yeah.
So we then on the floor, the following year, we changed it so the first month was 4%, and then it was 8% after the first month. Last year, 2025, and I have the minutes of the town meeting from 2025 here, we warned it as, and this is what we've been doing since then, vote to change the delinquent tax penalty levied to a graduated commission for 4% for the first 30 days following the tax due date and 8% thereafter. Last year in the minutes, Dick Butch moved to amend the motion to set the tax rate to 6% following the first 30 days after the due date. So in other words, we're lowering it from 8% down to 6%. After some discussion, the amendment failed. And so then the original motion passed. So what we passed last year was 4% for the first 30 days following the tax due date and 8% thereafter. What we voted on this year and passed this year is 4% for the first, I have it right here, for the first 30 days following the tax due date and 4% thereafter.
By statute, you cannot go over 8%.
That's right. But we didn't, we voted on 4% instead of 8%.
Right, so
Last year we voted 8%, this year we voted 4%.
4% for the first.
that's on,
And for their 4% thereafter.
That's how it's worded.
that's how it's working.
Because it doesn't say, if it says additional 4%.
To total 8%.
Yeah,
Right, so
It
it's
doesn't say
4%.
total 8%, it doesn't, it
Right,
just says
right.
4% thereafter.
So it's a good year not to pay.
You say
Discuss the town meeting.
That's a hungry.
yeah.
Would it be late, you mean, right?
Anyway, that's, I'm not a lawyer, I tell you guys that all the time, but my understanding would be that the only way to change that, if you wanted to, would be to hold a special town meeting.
Yeah, I don't think we're.
That's one of the reasons that
Tell
when we met with our committee, we decided maybe just to look it over, the select board to look over before it goes to print, and then maybe the town meeting committee, just to have some more eyes, because we all make mistakes.
It's so crazy.
Right under the gun.
It's so crazy at the end because everyone's trying to get things done.
Right,
So
exactly.
things like this are gonna happen.
Which is because it is looked over by the select board. They have to sign it before it can go to the printer.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying, if we have meetings just
Yeah.
for town meeting, articles, budget, then everything can be looked over
So,
with a closer
Yeah, but
eye.
when we finished that night,
Right.
when we did, we had the one that we were gonna put in change from 5,000 to 15,000, and we signed off on it, and that got missed. I mean, like Chris or Steve just said, we all make mistakes, so that didn't get in there,
It wasn't in the
And we
minutes
were
either.
gonna, well, I don't know what, we were right here, I remember we talked about it, and that and the town hall one was gonna be a floor vote. It wasn't gonna be supposed to be an Australian ballot item, as well as the last article. And that's what we signed off on, and what we're saying about is, we signed off on what it was coming into that, but without, it was all, here Sasha, here's all these pieces of paper, and Sasha was over there making notes, but I'm thinking if, before it goes to the printer, one more person, someone,
Well,
a
again,
chair,
I think
a co-chair looks at it,
Well, I think everyone could look at it, but
Oh,
again,
yeah.
I think by moving our time frame up, or having our deadlines and sticking to them.
Yeah.
Because remember, that was, what, a Monday or Tuesday night?
We had a special meeting after the Have Your Say Day, right?
And it had to be to the printer like the next day.
2 days later,
It's
right?
always rush.
Absolutely.
And so that's how, yeah, I mean, I have the same frustrations as I've gone through. There was just 2 or 3 different things there that we
Yeah,
didn't
no,
talk about.
yeah.
For a
I think
couple.
that's a good point, is that we try to.
So there's 2 more articles that there was problems with. And since our question on the bullet is, what are you gonna do about it? We already got the answer to the first one, which is nothing. The next one is Article 19. It's for $600, and then the voting was by Australian ballot. In our town, anything that's under $5,000, we vote on the floor. So we voted that Australian ballot, even though that's not the way we do it. So then is it valid?
The select board can put anything on the ballot that is asked to or that they want to by Australian ballot.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
mean, we
don't
can
think
check.
that's completely true.
we can check with VLCT on that, but I think even if we have a policy, Steve, that's what we're gonna check. I mean, this is my opinion, that I agree with Cheryl Lynn, which.
So can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
When you check with VLCT, don't ask them about Article 19, ask them about Article 20, okay? Because Article 20 has a very similar problem. The problem with Article 20 is that it's a public question. And in Moretown, we vote public questions on the floor at town meeting.
Is that for the town report to be mailed?
Yeah,
VLCT wrote that article.
and they said by Australian ballot?
Yes, they did.
Double check with the VLCT.
We did, they sent it out. I
And
gave it to
I'm
Sasha,
not-
that's why. No,
I'm
no,
not, yeah.
I'm just telling you, VLCT made the article though.
Because some towns do vote their public questions Australian ballot, so that they may have sent us the wrong thing.
They went out to every single town.
Well, if it went to every town, then half the towns will have gotten it wrong because some towns vote public questions Australian ballot. That's what they do in Northfield now,
In
which is
Duxbury as
why
well.
they don't have a town meeting.
In Duxbury as well.
And if we want to eliminate town meeting, we can eliminate public questions on the floor. We can eliminate the $5,000 cutoff, and then we could just say we're not having town meeting anymore. And we can choose to do that, but we have to do it on the floor because it's a public question. So public questions are voted on the floor. This is a public question, Article 20.
Where in,
And once again, I wish I were a lawyer and I could tell you where that's in
Well, no,
the
I mean, I think
statute.
I agree with Steve, at least in the first part with 19, because we did talk, whether it's legal or not, we did talk about, like, when Steve was in before, that, like, we weren't gonna pick and choose, like, stuff under 5,000. So it's more just whether it's legal or not, it's more just a process situation. So I'm just throwing my 2 cents out there.
yeah, no, I think I agree with that. But I don't think that we were bound to, I mean, as a select board, we can vote whether it's,
I disagree.
okay? Where do you get
I'm not
your,
on the select board, so the state, especially, the question of the $5,000 could be iffy as to whether or not that's even legal. But the questions of public questions being on the floor is something that it's part of the statute in Vermont. There's 3 types of articles, and the town decides how they're going to do their articles. And it's not that the select board gets to pick and choose which ones they want to put on the Australian ballot, it's that the town decides how they're going to do it. So the town in Moretown.
so we decided at one point that this is where we do all of
Well,
them?
yeah, and it's probably that, this is where I'm going back to Vermont history. Everything was on the floor, and then they allowed them, they made these, break down the 3 different types, the officers, the budget, and the public questions, and they said you can pick and choose of those 3, which ones you're gonna do on the floor and what you're gonna do. And so, as a public question, we have in the past, I don't know when it happened with officers, a long time ago, we chose that we were going to do officers through Australian ballot. And then in, I think it was 1992, 1991, we chose that we were going to do Australian ballot for budget articles that are over $5,000. And we have not chosen to do public questions Australian ballot. We could add that as an article next year if we wanted to. And then articles like this would be valid.
So are you saying that when the board created the capital reserve fund, they did it illegally as well? Because it's a public question? And the savings reserve fund and the maintenance reserve fund?
I will say that it was questionable, but I actually mentioned it at the time, and they said, well, no, it's because we're putting money in the fund.
But you have to create it before you can put the money in the fund.
Yeah,
So you have
and
to
I
do
have,
articles.
right. And those are iffy. You have to be really careful. And there have been cases in the past when I've actually come here and said, you voted on this wrong.
But our town attorney wrote the article. Or articles, I should say.
Like I said, everyone can make a mistake, right? So, not saying wrong, I'm just saying it could still be wrong.
So we had
right?
2 town attorneys, because Ron was not our town attorney during the capital reserve fund. or the savings reserve fund, but he was our town attorney for the maintenance reserve fund. And all those articles were brought to the town attorney to be created. And VLCT also has created, that's why I say that that's where the article came from. It's VLCT created by their attorneys, their staff attorneys, all these articles.
So I think, but the question is, we typically vote, or we have in the past voted these type of articles on the floor. So is that article, the question to VLCT is that valid? Is this voting Australian ballot valid because we've always voted these type of questions? Or does precedent preset this? Right, that?
Yeah, because that town meeting, people were quite vocal that they wanted us to still mail it, you know, they weren't, you know, people, when it was discussed, there wasn't a lot of people in favor of that it shouldn't be mailed.
It passed though.
I know, because people are
I do
just
think
over here and
that,
checking
personally, I
boxes.
feel like the wording of it was a little difficult to understand in the sense that I felt that some were going to be printed and we could call up the town office and go pick them up if we wanted, and that was said not to be true at town meeting. And I think people that are reading that weren't at town meeting might think, oh, I can just call up the town office and get one. They don't know. In this case, no. So I think going forward next year, we definitely should print them.
Well, it'll have to be voted on.
It depends on the legality, I guess.
Well, then again, if it's legal or not.
I think, isn't it just a small enough money they can spend out of their budget?
Out of the general fund?
I mean, the only reason it was on there was to create a conversation around it, honestly.
Oh, that's 19,
No, 19.
Yeah,
that's 19.
20,
Mailing
the town
it.
report.
20 is the town.
20 is the town report, so,
Okay.
yeah, the 600, that one's.
But based on that, can't you guys say yes, we're just gonna print X amount of town reports anyways, or?
Yeah, again, I think.
Or even print them and, you know, we can call to get them or something, just I do like the.
Yeah, let's just see how this goes, but the select board has the authority, if we want to print 1,000 of these things, we can, and we will.
You gave us a sound
Or
system, for
whatever
God's
it
sakes.
happens to be.
That was
You know,
Yeah.
we're not trying to
No, I know you're not.
disenfranchise town meeting. I mean, that's what I come for. I mean, that's,
I know,
we love
I
town
know
meeting.
you're not. I'm just.
So, I understand you're, kind of where you're coming from, but don't
I
make it
feel
sound like
bad.
we're trying to.
I apologize if that's the sound. I actually feel some culpability in this because I should have been here when you were signing the warning.
It's probably a good idea for you to, you know, maybe that's another best practice to do, is have the moderator take a look at the article. That's a really good idea.
I'll change Article 1 to elect someone else to be moderator.
Right. And I think at the end, we want to add in, which we used to have for all other business as well.
Yeah, I agree, I like that.
You know, so there's an opportunity.
The thing about other business is that there's nothing binding, but it gives people a chance to talk.
Right, exactly. If we had people that wanted to talk about, you know, one of the petitions that we didn't put in, that would be an opportunity at times to do that. So, so I think those are the type of things that, yes. So we will check with the LCT to find out their opinion on the legality.
Tom, why don't you and I will talk, because I talked to VLTC about our articles, so I'll give you a little bit of what they were thinking.
All right, well, we can.
Tell us right now.
Yeah, just share.
Basically what they said is that you cannot parse out a value amount. It's either, everything that goes in the budget, money-wise, is either Australian ballot or on the floor. You can't split it up. Now, that's their opinion, but that's their reading of the statute.
So the articles either are all Australian ballot or we have the budget on the floor.
That's their opinion. Now it's their opinion, they're not law, but that's their reading of the statute, and that's what they told me.
He's absolutely right, because when you call VLCT, it's clear that they are telling you, this is our opinion. Contact your town attorney.
Right.
So that's why I say our articles were written previously for the savings reserve, the maintenance reserve, capital reserve. And I'm not trying to argue with you, I'm just stating that our town attorneys wrote those articles. So the capital reserve, if our town attorney wrote them, it should be correct. And it's not a public question, and it went on the Australian ballot. And again, I'm not trying to argue with you, I'm just seeing it how
Well, the
our
question is
town
where,
attorney came
was,
up with it.
in those is like, is it a public question or is it a budget? And,
It's kind of gray, right?
It's right, it's
Yeah,
gray.
so-
Whereas this is not gray.
Right.
The town report thing is.
21, no, that's pretty clear.
So in other words, something like that we wanted, that got missed, when we were supposed to have an article that we were gonna vote on the floor, was changing the amount from $5,000 to $15,000.
I don't think.
Which next year, I guess we're gonna talk about putting in as an article that would be on a floor vote. But is that an example of what you're saying, that would be
That
something?
would be a public question, yeah.
Yeah.
What were we gonna say,
Public
Sharon?
question.
I just want to say that I was here that night, and I feel like, and you say it got missed, and you can say that, that's fine. I'm just,
Yeah.
again, I'm not arguing with you
No,
either.
not either.
I'm just saying that I feel like that night, yes, it did get discussed, but it did not get decided if it was going to be changed or not.
I didn't have a
Well,
And
motion on it.
I didn't see it in the minutes. And again, I'm not blaming, but you guys also read the minutes, you approve the minutes. And I don't think that it's fair to say that it was missed by whoever did it, the warning. And I'm just saying, I don't feel like it's fair to put blame that it was missed when it wasn't even in the minutes, or, that's all I'm saying.
It may not have been missed by Sasha, or it might have been missed by us, or me, or whatever.
No, it was missed.
I'll raise my hand, it was
Say it's
missed,
missed.
you know.
I
so
just
that-
feel like
so the-
having that one meeting or two meetings, and if the town meeting committee wants to come and look everything over, great, more eyes. But I think that you guys are pressed with so much on your plate with agenda this. We need to just concentrate on our.
Well, that's why I wish that I had been here, and I should have been here. I should have figured, I wasn't sure when you were doing it, but I should have found out when you were doing it.
Yeah, and I think all of us on the committee could have done that. And I look at it, it's like, I think we've got progressed a lot in the last
Yeah.
year and a half, 2 years. And this is, let's fine tune it a little bit. And I think
Just
we
keep
all know,
moving.
Yes.
we have to read the warnings, you know?
Absolutely. To
And-
that note, it was a fantastic town meeting. When
Yeah.
Dara was speaking, I counted 100 people there. And
I
there
counted
were
19.
there were more people coming and going, so there was probably at least 150 that at least
Yeah, when I
got something out of
talked
that
to
meeting.
Kate and Greg, and they thought that, because all the tables were filled on the side,
Yeah.
and all the chairs were filled, you know, it was a good time.
I thought it was great.
And Tom, going back to the point that I said when I had the discussion with the attorney, I was looking to make sure the language that I had for the 5 to 15 made sense when we had that discussion before I wrote the draft article. And he's going like, wait a minute, you know, from our opinion, you know,
Right.
from our perspective. And I'm like, okay, well, I said, we've been doing this for 30 years. We've had an attorney that looked at it at that time. We're not gonna change that at this juncture, but that's kind of, if you do talk to them, that's what they're gonna say.
Maybe it
It
would
was
be,
the all or nothing.
Yeah,
well, again, that's their opinion.
exactly.
So
I agree with
maybe
you.
when we do our budgeting, maybe we have our town attorney present. So if we have these questions, we have our answers.
I think, not through the whole budget process, but I think.
No, like the
from
final.
one- Yeah, yeah.
I personally don't like the idea of trying to include it in the budget, because I think I think that's a nice part of town meeting, is discussing some of these nonprofits and hearing from some of them. Whereas if you're gonna put it in the town budget.
Oh, no, that's not what
No,
we're saying.
that's all that's what they're talking about.
Well, if the lawyer comes and says that, you know, a lot of these should be not voted on the floor, right? That could be.
No, this is our lawyer that's,
Where you
that
saying-
wrote these.
No, I would say that's League of City Towns, that's what their opinion is, but it is an opinion. And
We don't want that opinion
and
coming.
we had an attorney review this 30 years ago that told us we can do this. And so we've been doing it for, I guess, 33 years, 34 years? It was
Something like
92,
that. I
right?
think it was
Well,
92.
we've done it
yeah.
3 times by attorneys doing it the same way.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, the capital reserve, the savings reserve, the maintenance reserve.
And to be clear, I like it the way it is in that regard. And the way we have it split up, and I think we should move it to 15,000. But I just want to let you know, that's what the feedback I got.
So to that note, to the 15,000, I was thinking this, sometime in the last couple of weeks, is we're having a November election. Why don't we just put that on the article on the,
Because it's a public question.
Yeah, we want to have it as a public question.
It is a public question.
So
isn't it a money question going from?
I think that we also need to think about this a little.
That's the gray area
Yeah,
we're getting
because
into.
if we raise it to 15, and I'm not saying I'm opposed to it, I'm looking at it on the treasurer's side. If we raise it to 15,000, we can have Waterbury Area Senior Center give us a petition for 14,999.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Cheryl beat me to it.
So how much are our tax dollars gonna go up over these public
We
questions?
can also vote.
Yeah,
no.
we could amend
Just
it.
adjust
You
it.
could,
I feel,
But does it ever
I
get
think
voted
that,
on?
I think, John,
down.
I think the idea of that was like one,
Doesn't get
so that
voted
maybe
on.
we could
Doesn't
go,
get voted
like,
on, no.
But does.
and correct me if I'm wrong, like, okay, the grader blower things, like what, 18 grand or 23 grand, right? But like, if it was a little bit less, we could vote on that on the floor, right? Or pick some other item that was like, 11 grand, we could vote on it on the floor and not have it be, I think, I don't know, John,
No, you're doing good.
yeah, so I think that would not to be like, oh, let's give these raise the bar, because like, I mean, think about driving here to Newark, like, Green Up Vermont asked for $100,
right?
right? It's like, okay, they don't really do much in the town except for hand out, give us the bags, but like, I don't know, personally, I feel like,
Pick them up.
right, I mean, I feel like Green Up Vermont should probably ask for more than $100, right? So it's, I don't know, this is just
Yeah.
so I don't think we're gonna see like nonprofits like triple their ask.
I think you will.
Well, then we can vote to
I think-
amend it,
And I think that if we do that, you need to add 8 hours to town meeting and move it back to 9.
you know, I thought it worked fine. It didn't seem, I mean, it did, you know, speed things up a little bit. The amendments were still made and that sort of thing. The repetition from the moderator seems to be a, you know, yeah, that's part of the process, you know? As tedious as.
It's tedious, and I've had feedback from people like, well, why do you have to keep doing that? I'm like, because you have to keep doing it. If you're gonna do it right, you gotta do it right, and that's the way you do it. And
I find that sort of the rhythm of town meeting day, at least the way it is going right now, and it's, your melodious voices.
Yeah.
I think it will be deterrent for some.
Talking about a sense of urgency, we need to move on with our meeting.
That's what I'm just saying.
I would just like to say one more thing, that back to the Australian ballot being at 10 or 15 or whatever, and worrying about all the other nonprofit organizations coming in and saying, okay, I want this. If it was put into the actual budget, like you said other towns are doing, you would not have town meeting like you said, but you would then still be able to have your say day, and all the committees could talk about whatever else they wanted. So I just want to just say that to the select board, that there's a couple, like 2 things that really need to be decided.
Well, some is dictated by a statute, you know, pre-town meeting and town meeting is from one statute, right?
Pre-town meeting is only needed because of Australian ballot.
Yeah.
So if those, yeah.
All right, so we've got some things that we are going to send out to the attorney just to get some opinions on, a couple things. But let's move ahead. We have the donation thing that I want to get through, and then.
Thank you for your time.
Chris.
Point out to the committee that the library or the town manager has a PA system. In terms of your partnership with the school,
Yeah.
you could partner with the library or the town manager. They have stands and speakers and a mic kit.
Really? We could have done that.
how did we not know that?
Corey's
You know,
town manager.
The town hall.
Oh, yeah.
The town spent $5,000 running that equipment?
No, we didn't spend $5,000.
$200. $220. That's the record
Money
show.
well spent. Thank you, John.
Just something like that.
Okay, yeah, all right, well, that's, well.
That was good to know. Thanks.
We know now.
Yeah, surrender.
We have the mini town meeting, post-town meeting.
Okay.
Oh, wow, everyone's.
No, you're good because we
Because
can't
I
go
came
to
from
places.
I almost turned the wrong way.
That is good to know.
Cheryl, why don't you roll
Nice,
this?
For the beaver thing, a couple months ago, so I couldn't even believe it. I don't know where it broke.
How you doing, Sam? You good? All right. You sure?
Aren't you glad?
I am. All right, Donna's.
Right here, I'm right here.
Donna thinks the meeting is done. What's that?
Way past my
Past your
bedtime.
bedtime? Yeah, you're looking a little tired.
It's getting to be mine too. I can't even.
What's Callie laughing at?
It's almost 8.
Kelly's just laughing at you.
Okay.
She's there.
Bye, guys.
I'm not laughing. I would like us to stay on track.
She's whipping the thing there. All right, so we had, we're all here at the meeting, or town meeting. And in fact, Chris or his dad brought up the donations that we have that don't go, that were voted on in the process, that were not received from last year, and how we can improve the process. So I asked Cheryl here is, what are we legally, what are we bound by as far as our statute of our reporting? What do you need for that?
So we need to have a certificate of insurance and a W-9. And those are all federal and state policy procedures that we need to follow. And they are all brought up in our audit for the workman's comp audit, because I know workman's comp, that doesn't sound like they go together, but they do on an auditing standpoint for insurance. So they have to take the W-9s, or the 1099s that we cut, and compare it to our payroll people on our payroll, because two people can't get a 1099 and a W-2. So that being said, the only way for us to figure out if someone asking on the floor vote is really a nonprofit like they say they are, we have to have an updated W-9 every year for us to guarantee that they are not a corporation, because a corporation does not get a 1099. So that's our only legal way to follow policy in state, federal, state policy and procedures, is for us to ask for a W-9 and a certificate of insurance. Current, every single year. So it's up to them to send it to us so that we can pay them.
Along with an invoice.
Along with
For
an
the
invoice
amount.
by December 1st, so that we're sure that we can get it on the warrant before December
I have
31st.
a question.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not a nonprofit, right, but I give people W-9s. They keep them on file. What's different? Like, it's mine stated from like 2021. What, is that wrong? Like,
It's wrong.
well, no one, I'm just asking because
Yeah.
no one asked me for a new W-9. I work for the same companies
They
every year.
should be.
And I've never been asked for an updated W-9. I need updated COIs. Okay.
And a W-9 should accompany it
Okay.
every single year, because our auditors pull them when they
Yep,
come in.
okay, then that answers my question.
Yep.
And it's more important right now, more than ever, because of the FEMA audits.
Oh, yeah, no, I just want, I was just, when that came up, I was like, well, I don't have to do that, but you're saying because the companies that I work for don't
Yeah,
ask for it.
and
Yeah.
we were told by our insurance company, VLCT, doesn't matter if they're being paid $599 or less, get one, because if you pay them again, and you go over that $600 and you do not have it checked that they need a 1099, and you get audited and they find that, we're getting written up and fined. So that's why every single vendor has to give us a W-9 and a certificate of insurance.
Is that because it's their own policy to get an updated W-9 every year?
No, it's state and federal.
So other towns aren't doing that.
That's
They're
their
not,
problem.
they're not following
They're not
procedures.
following it.
But earlier, there's other things that we're not following because they make sense for our community. Like, it just seems ridiculous to me to ask the town of Warren to give us a W-9 every year, or
The Warren Library, you mean?
no, the town of Warren.
Oh,
That came up, right, and the rec district, I mean, we have a partnership with them, the planning district, the town of Waitsfield, the town of Facein, like, there should be, in my opinion, it's why I'm still here, some cut list of pre-approved entities that we shouldn't have to jump through hoops with every year.
Well,
On the volunteer side, like getting involved with asking, and also like town clerk noise.
well, I can tell you that we've had no recommendations from our audit, nor have we had any in the past, because we are following every procedure and policy and procedure, state and federally. And I personally, as a treasurer, do not want to have something like this come up in an audit. Is it really that hard to ask for a W-9 and a certificate
I
of
don't think it's
insurance?
necessary.
I actually have emails here that people had sent in after town meeting stating that they really don't see that there's a problem with the way that we're doing things.
I don't think like when Chris or his dad brought it up, I don't think it was a problem with the process. I think people were concerned that like the people voted for these nonprofits to get their money and they didn't get their money. And it sounds like it was because they didn't follow the process. But I think people want to make the process more deliberate. So like, to me, something that would make it easier is like when they petition for money, they have to give us a COI and a current W-9, right? And then we have it, say the voters vote on it, yay, okay, and then it's like, it's approved and we can send them a check because we already have the stuff.
There's a problem with
don't.
that. They don't send us, they don't petition the money every year.
Right, remember
Because the
that?
select board already voted not to.
So maybe, first, I do have a question on the certificate of insurance. If they're not doing work on our property, they're not doing something here, why do we need a certificate of insurance there on that?
Vermont Leagues of Cities and Towns during our audits have recommended that, and it's right here in the audit requirements. Certificate of insurance showing proof of the Contractor or liability coverage and remains, and this is for our workman's comp audit, so those are required.
Look for a nonprofit?
So they have to name us as additional insured, not just as a certificate holder?
Just as,
If you issue a 1099, you need to have a certificate of insurance and provide it to VLCT. If you do not, they get included in your insurance policy.
Right, but do we need to be a certificate holder or additional insured? Because there's a big difference between the two. Can you hear me, Callie? I know the audio is really bad at home.
So when we do our certificate of insurance, it's basically like that we are covered to be somewhere else. So if our police department is doing a training on someone else's property, they just want a certificate of insurance to say that, you know, state of Vermont property is covered by us in case anything happens on these dates.
it's liability.
Right, so in this instance, does the nonprofit need to be does the town need to be a certificate holder or named as additional insured? Because it's a big difference in cost potentially for the nonprofit, right? It's like they're very different things, certificate holder and additional insured.
So if they're tax exempt, then they don't need to get a 1099 because they are tax exempt. They are outside of 1099. So the town of Warren should not, in essence, be giving you a W-9 because they are tax exempt.
Right, Callie, can you hear?
So when I asked
everything
St.
I'm saying?
Albans,
Can you hear everything I'm saying right now?
yeah, the certificate of insurance, that should be, I mean, that would be a question for the insurance company.
Okay, gotcha. So
That they're doing it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm only asking because the one time I zoomed in, the audio was horrible and I couldn't hear anything, so.
And Callie, as far as the 1099s, they do not receive a 1099, but it has always been policy recommended by our insurance carrier for our workman's comp to request a W-9 and certificate of insurance to make sure that they are indeed non-profit or not a corporation.
Yep, your W-9 will do that.
That's why I'm saying that's why we request it.
But the town of Warren isn't about to transform into a corporation.
All I'm saying, Chris, is it's always been the town of Moretown's, and even prior to me, to request those, because
Right,
that is
and
what the insurance company asks.
And what I've been trying to say is, can we change our policy so it's easier to do volunteer work here and to partner with other towns and nonprofit entities that we already trust, honestly, like.
So how, does that, I'm just trying to put this all together. It seems like there's two different things we're talking about here. We're talking about
maybe.
Process.
Like,
or a process with the,
like I'm ABC Dog Care, and I get approved for $400 at town meeting. So is there a way all those things could just, whether we have when they file to say they want to raise it, that we have their email or their address and they can get a postcard?
So the
And it
solution-
says you're approved, you won't get your money unless you send us these two things.
right, so what, my goal here is one, I think the process, we just need to first agree, what do we need to be in this process? Is it certificate of insurance? And this is not for the volunteer stuff, this is for the people who have submitted articles, who have gotten 500 or whatever it happens to be. Is it certificate of insurance and W-9? And then, I think the process can be fairly easy to Dr. Butch is, after the meeting, after 30 days, after the budget has been approved, at 30 days, we send out a registered letter to every one of these nonprofits who have requested the money and who are successful in their request. We send out a registered letter to them with a self-stamped envelope and a list, a checklist. This is what you need to provide us. With a checklist, W-9, COI, those are the two things. And then a due date of November 1st, or whatever we decide on. And I think that should solve that problem, right?
Well, I think then, because I think what people were mostly concerned with was that nonprofits didn't get paid, right? Which it's like, they didn't file the proper paperwork, right? It's not like they filed it and we didn't pay them. So yeah, I think it sounded like people wanted to ensure that the nonprofits, well, I guess we could, right, I think maybe like, yeah, that sounds good. And then for last year, it sounded like people
We'll just do
wanted.
the same thing, we'll just make sure it's retro back, so.
Right, so
Some
like,
of them will get 2 years.
right, so they would get a letter saying, like, for 2025 and 2026, some of them, right? And if they don't fill it in for 2025 and 2026, then they don't get paid for both years. And then we can say, well, we sent them a letter with this, this, and this, and they didn't do it.
Dr. Butch came down and stamped them and sent them out.
That's exactly what we've
Right.
done for the ones that didn't get paid this year. We told them that we needed an invoice for both years.
Yeah, right, so I did, yeah, but, yeah, so exactly, yeah, so I think we're all on the same page, so yeah, I think, you're right, so they get a letter saying we need this, this, and this by this day, if you wanna get paid.
I thought I heard that W-9 and the certificate of insurance needed to be part of the path to being warranted. Is that,
That's what he just said.
so before you even get on the ballot?
Well, no, I said that, but
No.
then you guys said,
Before you get paid.
yeah, no, but I suggested that, and then it
Yes.
sounds like maybe we,
I think,
I was wondering if the requirement is that they provide those documents.
No, I was saying maybe we could
before they
make
get
that-
into the.
When they do the
he
request.
thought, but that didn't.
right, I thought we could like put it into the request,
Okay.
but then this seems like a little more recent, yeah.
And those people have already, those requests have already been in, and they don't have to request each year, so.
So in the letter that will be sent out to them, it will say, we need your W-9, your certificate of insurance prior to November 1st. It's always been December 1st, but truthfully, if you use November 1st, it would be easier because you guys only meet twice a month.
And that should cover, I think most things, you just want to get it over the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Some of these nonprofits, run on a fiscal year from
Right.
July through June, so it should give them enough time between July and November to get that in.
So if you guys are going to all this extra work to do this, which I agree with, should you also be making a decision that, oh, we did this and we gave you our opportunity and they didn't get us the request until the next calendar year, are you still gonna pay them?
I think it's a lot easier at town meeting when people say, why haven't these organizations been paid? Right, and we say, oh, well, we sent them a registered letter saying this is exactly what we need by this day, and they didn't get it to us, right? So that, yeah, we didn't pay them. Right, and then people can say, oh, well, we still want you to pay them, and maybe we'd be in the same situation we are right now. But I think it'd be a lot more clear that we made a really strong, good faith effort.
I'm just saying, I think it needs to be set out right now in the minutes and however you guys wanna do it.
What is the current process right now when we vote on the floor to give these nonprofits money? What's like last year, for example, what happened after town meeting? Do we send them
These
anything?
companies have been doing this for a very
No,
long
we
time.
do not.
It
Yes,
should be,
right,
it's
so-
always been on them to get us an invoice, to get us the paperwork so that we can cut them a check. They're asking for free money.
Right, but so I think to Chris's point though, before we weren't sending them anything, so we weren't even notifying them that they won.
They
essentially.
call. They call us.
Every single one of them?
Not every single one of them, but most of them
Right, so I mean,
reach out.
I just think like people were upset about it, right? And we said we would allay their concerns, so like to Chris's point, it makes sense, like we said, they win, we don't tell them anything, we don't send them anything, so now if we're saying, okay, we're gonna send them the stuff, right, then then I think like say this came up again, so say next year there's one or two organizations that don't get paid, and people say, why didn't they get paid? And we say, well, I don't know, we sent them this registered letter saying we need this, this, and this by this day, and if you don't get to that by a day, then we didn't pay them, right? And then people would say, oh, okay, right? Versus now, I think it sounds, and I'm not faulting the town at all for not sending anything, but I think it's like, we're making it very clear to these organizations that we need this stuff to get paid by this day.
And you were saying, Sherilyn, at town meeting, this doesn't usually happen. Why all of a sudden the 9 out of 22 not get paid this year?
They didn't request the funds.
Just-
If they had employees changeover, we had a few of them that emailed that said that the person that did it last year or has been doing it is no longer with the
Well, a lot of these
entity or the non.
A lot of these organizations are volunteers,
Yeah,
They're just-
so it's majority of the time, they're either mailing in their request or emailing and saying,
I mean, I worked with the senior center, and they said they sent an email in October, and then again in November, and then when I saw that they weren't in the budget,
They
I
did
contacted
get
them
it
in
to us.
January.
They did get us their request, but it was late in December as far as getting us all their paperwork that
So
they
we
needed to
didn't
be
make the town
paid.
report.
Yeah, so that's why they're getting paid.
I would like to see if there's any way that we could try to change the process. I understand, you know, the auditing, especially with FEMA. There's gotta be some way that we can change the process where they can submit one W-9 and it stays on file.
It can't, it has to be done every year.
I can't imagine that every town that
It
I've
does-
worked with, I mean, I fundraised for 5 hockey rinks, for 5 towns for the rink in Montpelier. We don't do this with any other towns.
Well, then they're not doing it right, because we are told, and it says it.
Told by the Vermont
and-
League of Cities or
and
the
it-
workers' comp?
And it's even in our system that we use, that every single town uses, it'll give you a flag that says you have an expired W-9. You need to send out, so every year, we send out a W-9 to every single vendor that was paid that year.
So why don't we, you know what would be good, Sherilyn, is why don't we get an opinion from the auditors, because they're the ones that audit us. So so everyone can be comfortable with it, let's ask the auditors. I mean, they should know the laws, right?
But they're gonna want more, the more the better for them. Yeah, let's be honest, they're coming from one angle.
Right. Well, you know, we gotta look at things that hopefully they're gonna.
Or a
give us
town
the-
lawyer, I don't know.
They're,
Someone. When we take employment, they're not filling one out every year.
Yeah, they are. We're
Do you
supposed,
fill out a new
Every-
W-2 every year for the town of Moretown? Well, I don't think that, you should not be doing that.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
right, if you should not, that's not necessary, unless you're changing it.
I change mine every year.
Well, that's why you're doing a new one every year then, but that's not
No, that's
standard
not why I'm
practice.
doing one every year for accounts payable, it's because that's the process.
But I'm saying, if you're doing a W-2 for yourself every year, that's because you're changing it, it's not the process for the people that, you know, you don't have
What's
to
that?
change it every
I
year.
don't know if I ever, in my employment, I don't remember doing one every year.
If you change it,
They just
you
changed,
change your
they
house or
just
something,
changed
sure.
they just changed the forms and everything this year. I think you just filled one out last year when they got changed, didn't you?
Last year's the
Process
first
should
year.
make it
Yeah.
optional, unless you want to make a change.
All right, so,
So, one thing I learned when we had Carol in our office doing a lot of work is that she asked me in looking through our appropriations, well, why aren't some of these paid? And I said, we haven't gotten an invoice yet. And she said that your voter approval is your invoice. So when the voters approve that, that is your invoice to pay it. So you can go off that outside of the W-9, but what has been approved on that is what goes in for payment. So when I do it, I get a copy of the official results and put it in now, and that's done, right at the beginning of our fiscal year.
I like it.
Automate.
So Berlin does not require an invoice.
Not anymore.
I like it.
No, we go basically off what is voter approved. So the voters have voted to approve, $600 here, $700 there, $20,000 here. And that is
so.
how I was told to do it.
Right, so I got an email from, I don't know what town it is, but we trying to get some best practices around, and there was another town that does that too. They use the report as their invoice. So are you saying that if you use that, then you don't need a W-9?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that takes the place of them getting an invoice.
All right, so that's,
That takes the place of the invoice.
okay, just the invoice.
So Callie, can you correct me if I'm wrong, in NIMRIC, you need a W-9 every year and a certificate of insurance to update that file, is that not correct?
If you have them scanned in there, you check it off. If you're checking it off,
Right, but every year.
then yes, but again, if they're tax exempt, they're not getting the W-9, you don't need the certificate of insurance.
Right, I understand that. I'm asking you though, the W-9 needs to be done every year because you get a warning and you can print off the report that tells you that it's expired. Am I wrong?
If if all the buttons are checked off correctly in that system, yes.
Yep, and that's exactly correct. The W-9 has to be done every single year.
Do you get a W-9?
I mean, businesses will ask for an updated tax exempt certificate every year. It's the same thing to make sure that you are still tax exempt. We get requests from, RK Miles, all of these places, hey, we need an updated tax exempt certificate because they just want to make sure. So it's the same thing. You get the W-9, the W-9 verifies your tax exempt status or not, whatever you need, and then you go forward from there.
Chris, you had a question?
Yeah, I'm just curious, so every year you were saying that counts as an invoice as far as voting for these nonprofits? And then additionally, are you requiring a W-9 from every one of them every year?
She said, yeah. Yeah, she shaking her head.
So I think,
Yeah, we are supposed to be,
I
yes.
feel like this is a good process moving forward, maybe, I don't know, what we laid out, the registered letter,
All right.
at least, it's just, I don't know.
Could we do maybe in addition to that, maybe an email too?
We have most of their emails, so yeah.
I think that'd be good too, just because some people, I don't know, just with the state of the markets.
And if you have the emails, it may be easier, instead of sending a letter, spending the money on postage, send an email with a delivered receipt and a read receipt on it. That way you know when it gets delivered to them, you know when they've opened it up. And then you're not spending the money on postage, sending them a letter. You know they're getting an email.
When someone read it, right.
Yeah, and
Yep,
Sherilyn,
someone's opened it, someone's read it. You're there
I think that's.
to save on some of that postage. It's not a lot, but
Yeah, I think where we can.
then you know they get it.
That's easier too, to just do the email.
Right, it's not as laborious and less money, but if there are areas where we don't have, I just want to make sure that people aren't being missed. So that we can look everyone in the eye and say, all right, we did our best, really, we want to do it. I mean, there's the money's been voted on, we're all for it, and it's not a terrible amount of money anyway, so let's just make sure we get it.
So are you satisfied now that Callie has clarified that a W-9 is needed every single year? Both of you?
No.
We're still, I still want the opinion from the I want to just get some.
Only because, I don't feel like all the other towns are in the wrong. Like, everyone has said, for years that Moretown is different. Moretown's difficult. It's difficult working with those ladies. I'm just being honest.
Are all the other towns going through full audits like we are with FEMA?
I mean, that's what I was saying, the auditing, no. I mean, but this has been going on for years. I mean, I came to Sherilyn years ago about the Mad River Senior Center, that we were filling out, getting the signatures every year. And then the other towns were not getting it.
But that's only because the select board just recently, a few years ago, changed their way. They can make that decision. And until they made that decision, it had to be done that way.
So then the Waterbury Senior Center, for example, I also help out with, they are on Australian ballot and they get signatures every year.
They have to because it's over X amount of money.
So if it goes on Australian ballot, you have to get them every year, but if it goes on the floor, you don't?
They asked for $6,200.
No, I know, but if it goes on Australian ballot,
Yeah.
because it's on Australian ballot, you have to do it every year?
Yeah, so anytime, no matter what it is for an article on the Australian ballot, if it's over 4,999, anybody has to bring a petition to the select board with 5% of the voters, legal voters in Moretown. So had they kept it at 4,999, they wouldn't have to keep doing the petition.
Gotcha.
That's one of the reasons maybe we raised the amount.
Right, we were thinking of going it up to the higher amount because,
Right.
but you mean the other, or Cheryl?
I think, I definitely agree with her on that.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna see a big change. I mean, all these organizations could use more money anyway, that's another, we don't need to go there, keep everyone up, but all these organizations would want more money, and they deserve more money and could use more money.
But a lot of them aren't asking for 5,000 now, though. Like, it's 5,000's the limit now, right?
Right.
A lot of them are not asking for you to.
No, that's correct.
$100,
I think there's a
$500,
couple of them.
$1,500. Yeah, there's a couple that are at the threshold, but like the majority of them are like quite a bit lower.
Yeah, a lot of them are asking other towns, and they're trying to do it like on a per capita, when you ask them, all right, how'd you come up with this?
And they're not watching the select board meeting, man. They don't know that we're changing, not gonna jack the
So the other question though, and I want to clarify with Callie and his concerns of Chris. So you were talking about Warren and the volunteers or something. Now, if they're a nonprofit, then they don't need a W-9? Is that what I heard or no?
No. They don't get a 1099 because anything that is tax exempt doesn't get a 1099. Or they don't have to. Some places will send you a 1099. Like in Berlin, we get a 1099 from Stripe, who does our credit card processing. We technically don't need it because we are tax exempt, but they send it to us anyway, probably because they just have everything checked off. To just do it, it's easier for them to send it and not need it. You know, bigger corporations like that. But anything that is tax exempt would not get a 1099.
But they're still required to send a W-9 every year.
You have to verify,
Yeah.
they are that tax exempt status.
And that's why in our accounting system that we use at NEMRIC, which Callie uses as well, you can print a report that tells you who needs an updated W-9, and it'll print it right off automatically. And we do it every year in January, we send them out to everybody. So not only are they already getting the W-9, every single one of these nonprofits are already getting their W-9. So whether or not they send it back to us or not, it's on them. Thank you, Callie, for reassuring that I was actually doing what I was supposed to be doing after.
Yeah, and if your vendors are set up correctly in the system, it will do that.
Yes.
If they are not set up correctly, it won't. So, you know, if there's a lot of turnover in places and vendors get added, sometimes that happens. But yes, if you are utilizing the system to the full capacity, it will let you know.
All right. And so guys, and I know there's been some comments made, but they do a good job here in the office. And I don't think anyone's trying to make anyone's job more difficult, or nonprofits or anyone. You know, as you've heard the testimony, or not testimony, but people, it sounds like testimony in a way. They're trying to, or they are following the laws that they know, as they know it at this point. So we're gonna just look and see if there's any other movement on that, but I don't think, no one's intentionally trying to make anyone's day longer or job more difficult. Everyone's trying to, cover their own, areas as well, and just making sure, and I appreciate it, and I do appreciate the audits that we get every year, so I feel comfortable, you do a great job as a treasurer and as a vice treasurer. But it's good questions to have too. I think this is good conversation. It's good. It's not personal on either side here, but everyone is trying to figure out what works best for them. And so I like people advocating, but also what you're doing as well, as far in Cali, knowing the laws and knowing what we need to provide. So thank you everyone for that discussion. And we're going to continue, that we got some information to look into, just to verify what we're all saying and doing. And if we can find a way, if there is a clearer path to make things more, just gonna say more difficult, to make things easier. I think we're all for it. I know the ladies working here in the office, they're not, it's causing them more work too. It would be easier just to get, all right, how that passed, let's send a check off to the Mad River Seniors or Mad River TV. But it just can't happen like that. It would be easier, but so it's causing them work too. So it's, and I know they don't like to, create work for themselves. The reason they're doing it is because they're trying to follow the laws they know, and we'll make sure that everything pertains to us. And if it is, which I'm sure it is, then we'll continue with this process, but I think the process that we now have to verify, whether it's by email or by registered mail, that these nonprofits have been notified and given instruction on how to collect their money. I think that's a good start, and we can kind of leave it there maybe tonight.
Yeah, the email, with
With the flags and the.
that you've got the email
and
and,
things like that.
that seems like a way to go, like Callie was suggesting.
Yeah, no, I think that is a very good idea. So there's, those checks and balances to make sure people are seeing it, make sure they get it, and then we can get the money out. Actually, I think we were talking about it how many years, when I first started here, now it's been like 15 years, at the end of the year, the money would actually go to the fire department. Do you remember that?
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
The volunteer fire.
The volunteer. So any of the articles that no one, requested their money, it just went to the fire department. And there was one year, I was annoyed with the fire department, so I started calling the people. It was like one of them, it was like, hey, you got to request the money because I don't want it to go to the fire department. I'm in the fire department, but so there's been different evolving things on how it is, and then that kind of just went away, and it just. But I don't think it really happened that often. I mean, I really don't remember it.
If you look back in the town reports, you'll see that they were paid.
Yeah, most of it, I think, always paid, but.
So, do we have some folks that are still from last year that haven't collected their funds yet?
There's a few, I think.
So would it be helpful to send them an email?
Yeah, it's the whole thing. We're retroing it back to last year, whatever is not last year, and then this year with everyone, so that it's clear to them.
Then if they don't respond by a certain date, then.
So that's a good point, and I think Cheryl Lynn mentioned that. So in that letter, should there be, if we don't hear from you by November 1st, you forfeit this money?
That's a tricky one.
Should we start with the letter first?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what.
Just get it out and then also, not to kick the can, but to kick the can, because
that's what we do.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, we don't want to penalize anyone, but yeah, I think if they get the letter and they get it back, and there's exceptions to all, I mean, things happen. But if we can get it to, under, maybe one or two that don't get their, request their money,
then we've done
our job.
Yeah.
We're done as well as we can. And we have those other issues to follow up on as well. Is that fair for everybody?
Yes, yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead though, and maybe Mike, you could make a motion on the process, or do you want me to do that?
Yeah, I can do that. I would like to make a motion on the process for nonprofits getting paid from town meeting day. If their motion or if their request for funds passes, they will receive either an email or a registered letter with a checklist of the town requirements for them to receive their funds. So,
Yeah, with a date of November 1st or something, just to have them get it back.
okay, by November 1st for the calendar year they were appropriated in.
Second, anybody?
I'll second that.
Donnie seconds. Thank you for amending that a little bit. Like
Yep.
Any further discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. There we go. So we got that, and that will go, and we'll work on the other the parts of the process.
To Chris's, we still would do the same thing for.
Yeah, well, that's I think some of the information that we'll get from.
Okay, so we still got that.
That's
a work in progress.
Work in progress as well.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Thank you.
Everyone good?
You guys.
Thank you.
You guys.
So we're a little bit behind schedule here. So real quick, let's go ahead and appoint Deb Sargent, our town rep at CVRPC. She is taking Dave Stapleton's position. Motion on that, Tom?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Deb Sargent to replace Dave Stapleton on peace planning, PCRP.
All right, it's past your bedtime too.
Yeah, it is.
All right, I'll second that. And any further discussion? Just so we know, we got, Deb's name came from Dave, and she's on the planning
Yeah,
commission,
she's
so,
on it too.
so that makes sense. So all in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All right, so let's go ahead. Thank you, Kelly. Reports, communications, you all right?
Yeah. I have the grant thing question. This is where I would come up with ask Dawn
Okay.
about the grant for the light town hall.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and,
Yeah. So, as you're
So
aware,
I know that's being worked on by some other folks, so I haven't really been into the weeds about it, but I
okay,
know we wanted to try to get a letter of support
okay.
from
So,
the select board for the grant.
right. So I received this from Corey on the February 14th. The information as to where to go to look at the website. And I was going through it, and do you know, I just want to make sure that we can apply. It says that, is the library eligible if the library building sits in a floodway? No. We're in a 500-year floodplain. So
Yeah.
do we know, is that the same as the floodway? I just don't want to spend all this time getting this in if we do not qualify. So because I didn't get this from Corey until the 14th of February, I emailed them today and I asked them if, I want to make sure that we can do this, because our library sits in a 500-year floodplain. And my response is that
So who did you send this to?
right to the
To the,
Capital Grants HUD. And the questions and answers period ended on 11/30/26, so they can't even answer my question.
January 30th.
Sorry, January 30th.
what did they?
They said they can't answer my question because the question and answers period ended on January 30th of 26. So I haven't worked with you guys on this, so I want you to be aware of the facts that are from the link that she sent me, that we are eligible to apply. Because according to this, it doesn't sound like we are. I don't even know how much you guys are trying to apply for, which Sasha needs to put in the request that Corey
Well,
sent today.
we've done another letter that it was a general letter from the select board for the story walk that we wrote that we were supported the efforts of,
If you as a select board want to sign
the letter
that
Cory
letter, then
wrote,
that's up to you.
I think it's fine. It was a letter of support saying that we support our, applying for the grant.
Okay, I don't even know what they're applying for, like what's happening.
I think,
And what the town portion's gonna be too.
well, as far as I know, it's for a grant for $400,000, and I haven't heard that the town has that, has a match in this. I don't know, but I haven't
From
been
what I'm-
working on the grant particularly, but I know that Corey's been trying to work with you on this for longer than February 14th. I know you, in any event, it's.
I was supposed to meet with her last week and I had to reschedule.
Okay, well, I don't know that answer if it's in that's how.
I just think that somebody needs to look at that. Do you want this?
Would Ray be able to answer that question?
well, I think it needs to come from someone on the,
Well, no, I mean, but he might just know the technical.
which we.
Right, like he might just
Water,
know
right.
the technical difference, because he deals with FEMA, just says it right, he's not an authority.
I looked it
He
up
might
and
just
I
know.
don't understand it.
Yeah,
Because I asked AI, what's the difference
Yeah, I don't
between a
understand
floodway versus a floodplain?
they don't know.
And I talked to Carol about this today too, and and this is it right here. It's in the 500-year floodplain. So this right here doesn't say 500-year floodplain, but this is what the 2.2% annual chance is. It is 500-year floodplain. So that somebody needs to figure out.
Well, maybe that is something we could ask Ray. I don't even know where to figure that out myself. You know, and I actually, you know, I'm working on a lot of other things. There's the 4 other people that are working on the grant with you, you know, and then Corey's leading it, you know.
Yeah,
so-
Sybil and Corey are working on it.
Yeah, and then Peter was a Horian, has been helping with some of the, you know, takeoffs and breakdowns and stuff.
Okay, well, I can show this to Corey on Wednesday because she is coming in this week.
Yeah,
And I can ask her about it, because I know that her and Sybil went to a webinar
yeah, they did the
in
one
November
as
or
well.
December.
Yeah,
But Corey and I have not gotten together, and I just barely got this from her on the 14th.
all right, so is that something you could ask Ray?
Yeah, I'll email him tomorrow.
See what his opinion is?
Yeah.
And in terms of the letter, I think it could just be a letter, you know, that we support the town applying
Did she
for this
send one?
grant. Yeah, we did, we got you know, she wrote a rough draft of what a letter could be, you know. I didn't say,
I'll take a look at it, I'll fix it up.
yeah, okay.
All right, so.
That's all I have.
All right,
All right. Going home.
all right, get to bed.
I won't be.
Thank you,
far
Shirley.
behind.
Yeah.
I won't be far behind, I go to bed by 9 too.
Well, I've already had the husband and my mother check on me. Where are you?
It's nice that you're wanted, no one's checking on me. Nobody, all right, so we'll move ahead, I'm sorry that we've taken so long to find everyone.
Yeah, look at Sam's really getting.
Yeah.
Sam is like, this is,
Did I really wanna do this?
I'm gonna eat dinner first next time.
yeah.
Well, usually Sam, they don't usually run this way. We're usually done by 8.
And I usually move them along. But there was
7:30, yeah.
some things that I thought we should.
Yeah, that was good.
Discussions
No,
that
we
we
had-
should do.
Yeah.
Sasha, we got reports, communications for us.
I just have a ton of stuff to be signed,
Done a ton of stuff.
warrants and overloads and the annual certificate of compliance for the road and bridge standards for the state of Vermont, along with the annual financial plan for the state of Vermont as well.
All right, everything's got a little thing on it.
Yep.
Callie's not here to make sure that we sign everything. Communications, Don, what do you got for us? Anything?
Well, I think, you know, I'll wait till the next meeting, because there, you know, this is the start of a new year. I mean, you know, and, you know, it's 20 to 9, so I can wait till next week with some of the stuff I was gonna chat about, for sure. Though we did have a correspondence about Frank Piazza's properties, so I don't know if we can wait till the next meeting to.
Did everyone see those emails? Yeah, so if you read the emails, read the emails, that's all the information. I haven't heard anything else, but hopefully maybe we can just have Ron or someone in to discuss that.
To see where that's going.
To see where that's going, but it sounds like it's hopefully making some progress.
And then at that last meeting, we were gonna have some class 4, you know, follow-up to a class 4 road issue. And a copy of, you know, pencil copy from 1970 or something, you know, which I haven't seen, but, you know, I don't know where that's.
Let's just do it.
We can
Let's
do
just,
that
Sasha, let's
next
just do it, just put it on the agenda for next week, since it's so late.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
If everyone's okay with that.
Yeah, the rest of, next week, or next meeting.
Right, the only, Mike, did you have anything else?
Yeah, and the app and the, for time, I'm fine to wait till next week for anything I've got,
All right, so I think, again, for time, but one thing we should act on or make a comment on, did everyone get the letter from Michael Leckner or?
Yes.
Seth Howard's
Yeah.
office?
right.
as far as, the lady, was it?
Kate, the
Karen,
Kate Lovegrove.
Kate, yeah, I think she asked a few questions at town meeting, stood up, I think it's the same person, so she lived in Gallery Acres. I don't know, yeah, I think I put the two together, but yeah, sorry anyways.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think there was she was the only one that applied, but I don't know if anyone had an opportunity to look at her resume or CV.
Well, I kind of looked through it, looked good to me.
Very impressive.
Yeah, I was going, wow, we're lucky I think that would be good. I'm sure, did you know if Steve looked at it?
He's been away since that came through, so I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but I can tomorrow. They're back tonight.
I'm sure he's
thrilled. He's been desperate to find somebody,
Yeah.
so she looked like a really qualified candidate to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, she could do a lot.
she's got two kids in school, and yeah, it's good. So should we want to have,
Denominator?
Well, someone is gonna reach out to us, and because we got Sam as our liaison there, maybe we'll have him just relay back that we discussed, and that we felt that was appropriate. So Sasha, when someone reaches out, if you want to just have them to, reach out to Sam,
Okay.
whoever that, I think it's, what's your name from Warren, was the chair of that board.
Ashley Wood?
Ashley Wood was, yeah, and maybe she still is, but, so if Sam, if you hear from her, just, you can relay what we've said.
Yep.
And I don't think there was anything else that I have that we needed to really act on,
Minutes?
aside from the minutes. But Callie, did you have anything that you wanted to share at all?
Nope.
You're good? Ready to get that?
Yep.
How's Sean feeling?
All right.
He's over there making faces, right? So Sam, this is the time of the meeting, we'll go through, if there's things you want to add, communications, maybe you've been out, people talk to you, things you want to add there. And then we also, if there's old business and new business, you'll kind of get the hang of that as we go move forward.
Perfect.
Is there anything that you want to add tonight, or
No,
is
that's
that?
tonight. Thank you, though.
I forgot, I have one more item.
Okay. And this is,
Okay, this is gonna be at the town hall on March 28th, from 4 to 6, bingo and pizza. We're breaking out the old machine that they use from the basement of the town hall. We've tested it,
oh, nice.
so I hope everybody will attend. I didn't know, I was gonna ask, can we hang this here at the town office somewhere?
Yeah, leave it here and I'll put it.
Well,
in.
you should,
If you want to send it to me, I'll send it to Kate Liptak too.
No, Kate, we've got
Oh,
that
you got
covered,
it,
yeah.
gotcha.
We got that.
Is it up on the
What?
community board over at Red Hen?
We got it on the board of Red Hen, and it's at Roots, and, it's been passed around.
Circulated.
So, yeah, it should be a fun event. Hope you can make it.
All right, so now the other thing we have, the select board minutes of March 2nd.
Make a motion to approve the Moretown Selectboard meeting minutes from Monday, March 2nd, 2026.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kelly. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. So we'll go ahead and just sign up things, Callie, here, so you can sign off if you want. And everyone, thank you for a good meeting. We just have a few things to sign. Thanks, Callie.
No problem. Luna says hi.
Oh, Luna!
They should have had Luna and
Yeah.
had her in the video.
Where is she? Oh, there she, yeah, she looks like she's in high. She's sacked out.
No, she wants to go outside for her evening walkies.
Oh,
There she is.
There she
Yeah.
Here.
Hey, sweetie.
Yeah, she's.
Oh, we got pizza.
She's looking
She
nice.
says evening walkies. That's what I need.
We'll get out there. All right. Hey, thank you for sharing.
She's looking.
All right. Probably can, all right. More chance.
What are we signing here?
This is a certificate of compliance for our compliance from the state that we do each year. That's that we get reimbursed for.
Am I passing this?
Yep, that will just throw
Yeah,
that file in like around. Yep.
Ooh, it's a long time to sit in a chair.
I know, you never know. Just pile it over there.
Whenever I look at these, I always just, it's amazing.
The money that we spent.
Yeah, I mean, what it costs to do a town, especially, it's the roads, it's all roads.
Should have so many roads.
I mean, meanwhile, I think, I don't wanna jinx us or anything, but one season has been not too bad.
No.
As it started.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
still a
they
lot
could-
of frost
Oh,
in
no,
there.
I think we've still got money to come, but so far,
Do you see the pile of stone that Martin has down at the sand department, or the sand area? I'm figuring, looking at that, he's thinking there's gonna be a lot of mud.
oh, that one has to sign it.
Yes, I need everybody's signature on that.
So these are just all, they're just, it just needs my signature,
there's
but they're
four
just
of
all
those.
working permits.
Look at these.
Anyone that delivery, any of that,
There's no
anyone
way
that
you
trucks on
know
their
that.
property.
It's scribble.
Oh, Sam's as bad as me and Mike?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, mine's
Oh, yeah, I
great.
guess you should.
Oh, jeez.
I guess you should.
Maybe
I just let the kids sign for me if they like go out to dinner, you know?
Oh my God, geez, I thought mine was bad.
Been practicing for years.
Yeah.
Are you afraid someone could
All
copy,
individual ones.
forge that?
Yeah.
Could someone forge that?
That's fine, no, it's good, did you, look at it, make sure it's legit?
Some of them, yeah.
Are you signing these two already?
I signed those two, yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Well,
I mean, are you nervous that someone could copy that on
I mean,
right?
yeah, I guess they could.
Hasn't happened for.
They gotta figure out who he is first.
Yeah, I don't know who the hell I am.
Also,
I don't have
they don't need
anything.
signatures. Here.
These,
Do this many every 2 weeks, or is this just a?
That's just because it's time for them to come in.
Oh,
It just
okay,
happened at the
yearly.
beginning of the year. Yep.
Just while we're signing things, I did what I did last year. I got Kate and Greg and Kim a gift card for all the work they did over at the town meeting.
Thanks for doing that.
And I
just submit that.
Yeah, actually, yeah, there you go.
Do you want to sign it?
So this here,
Yeah, I can, yeah, like that. Wait, I'll sign
yours
yours.
here, this.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is my
total.
signature.
No,
right
there's
there.
usually a break in there, see? It's a fraud.
Did you already, do we have the other one? Oh, right here, okay, yeah, this is, so this will be the payroll warrants here.
Okay.
But this will sign off, and then, so someone, like I got this with.
Greg told me he watched
Like these other, whoops,
something
this is
like
one I didn't.
93 of those green plates. that
And
we
my,
got.
these come from, so when I
Oh,
get
those
here,
rays?
Sasha's looked at these, and
93
like
of
this
them.
here, if it's going to,
Which, you know.
this is Avery excavation, those have been looked at by Martin as well, so Martin decides.
Well,
I
Three
ate
years
it,
ago.
but I never used the tray. I was
I only ate cookies on
I
the
was
last.
nibbling.
Yeah.
And then the rest
Oh, I
is.
did try
Yeah,
Chris's
yeah, the rest
potato,
are just-
you know, I just took them a little.
And this is our, this is payroll.
Yeah, I had to leave unfortunately.
All right, everybody. Are those some good plans for the rest of the week?
Ready? Do you need to-
Back to you.
Yep, I can grab them. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, vote aye. Aye. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah,
for joining us.
thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Sorry for a long
Thank
night.
you, Sasha.
Yeah.